obviously. Now you can hear me. Check, 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 check.
Hello, and I am Devin Green, and check. Ryan Kaufman from the WPTAP Traffic Chopper here on a lovely Saturday afternoon. Check, sports done. Hello and welcome to Seth Grove Stadium here on the campus of Shippensburg University for NCAA Division II football between your California Vulcans and the Red Raiders of Shippensburg. Welcome to our broadcast. I am Colin Kirkwood, and alongside of me are two esteemed gentlemen in Daniel Beck and Devin Harena. Guys, excited to be here?
I'm most definitely excited, and it's always good to do a three-wide broadcast. We get a little bit more opinions on the broadcast and more voices heard for the people at home.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is my first three-headed broadcast, my second overall broadcast for football, so it's going to be interesting.
Yep, Devin's first appearance on Vulcan football, and we are very glad to have you here with us today. But nonetheless, to keep you informed of what is going on here today, we are doing a simulcast once again, as we did last weekend in Kutztown. We will be doing that once again here on the air today. But now, guys, let's move on into the tail of the tape between these two teams.
Yeah, and the Red Raiders coming into this contest after taking down a PSAC West opponent in Slippery Rock. That's a huge win under their belt. They come into this game 2-0. For California on the other side, they're coming in 0-2. So, with Shippensburg being a strong team, taking down Clarion in their first game out actually in the West, they played at Highmark Stadium. And, those are two teams that they go at it. And, with this PSAC East and West crossover play, this is the last time we're going to see an Eastern team this season. So the East, later on in the season, you're right, Colin, at the end of the season, there's always that contention game. If California comes down to it, if they don't make the playoffs, that is the game that they play. But this Shippensburg team is strong, so California really has to come out fast and score in bunches.
So, Devin, when was the last time these two teams met again? Refresh my memory.
They met in California September 20th, 2014.
Perfect. And Danny, what is the current win streak?
The current win streak for California, actually, is they have won the last 4 games, the 4 meetings that these two teams have played. But this is a much different California team, a much different Shippensburg team. So, both of these teams, it's really erased last history, erased everything, because both of these teams coming into this contest are going to have to play their best football and put their best foot forward. For California, they need to score in the third quarter. That is something that they haven't done
yet.
Haven't happened this season. And for last season, they only scored 48 points in the third quarter the entire season. So really have to erase that. Go into the halftime break with your heads up. Also see maybe if Coach Dunn decides to push the pedal closer to the end of the second quarter going into the halftime break, because he hasn't done that the past 2 games.
Yeah, Devin, that's definitely something we talked about last week when we were at Kutztown. We realized Coach Dunn does not seem to be keen on pushing the envelope towards the end of the half. Do you think he'll change that here today?
I think in order to win, he needs to do that, or at least try something at the end of this first half. But at the end, we will see, and if he does, I feel like that will be a key factor in this game.
Nonetheless, we are just about ready for kickoff here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in central Pennsylvania. Back in the 717. But nonetheless, this PSAC crossover matchup is off and running here. California return man has the ball near his own 20 and will be taken down at the Vulcans 25. Danny, why don't break down a couple of the offensive starters for California?
Yeah, we have we have Noah Mitchell at quarterback. That's a big guy in the backfield, number 5 for California, as well as Nelson Brown at number 9. Those are 2 names that you're going to be hearing a lot here today, as well as number 14, Jordan Dandridge, and also Chad Livingston coming out there on the field. He is number 80, so California utilizing him quite a bit in the passing game thus far this season.
Chad Livingston had a huge game last weekend in Kutztown. Here is Mitchell in the backfield. He is looking to throw this one. He's going to roll out and go to the far sideline, and that one will fall incomplete, in and out of the hands of tight end Jacob Stallings. Dylan Stallings, rather. I'm getting confused with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Sorry about that. Nonetheless, 2nd and 10 here for the Vulcans. Mitchell in the backfield receives this one. It's going to be a handoff. Nelson Brown's going to move towards the far side of the field here and be brought down after a sizable game.
You like that north and south running out of Nelson Brown. He got into the second layer, the second tier of defense for the Raiders, and just getting that first drive pick up some yards big on that second down. Now they're faced with a third down. California now in this situation, you like to see a pass out of here at third and medium. So we're going to see what Noah Mitchell decides to do.
Gain of 4 on second down brings up 3rd and 6 on the Vulcan 28-yard line. Here is Mitchell. He's going to drop back and throw this one across the middle of the field. And that one is complete near the midfield mark. First down, California. That is number 14, Jordan Dandridge.
Dandridge, it looked like just a little slant pattern right over the middle of the field. Mitchell staying poised and calm in the pocket. We've seen that quite a bit on the first 2 games this season. He just has that pocket presence that you like to see out of a quarterback, especially out of a freshman quarterback, as he went to a prep school last year. So he was D1 ready, but he trickled down into the D1 and D2 level.
And we are glad to have him here. First down on the Vulcan 48-yard line. Mitchell is going to fake the handoff and toss this one to the far sideline. Moving around with a lot of space, a couple men to beat, and finally brought down in Red Raider territory. That is Chad Livingston.
Yeah, I feel like that play action was really good because they established the run game and they made them afraid. They made Shippensburg afraid of the run game, and that play action just left them wide open for a good gain and a first down.
And when you have such a great quarterback as Mitchell is, you can really budget to be able to use play action throws like that when Nelson Brown is such a good north-south runner as well. Here's first down again for the Vulcans, first time in Red Raider territory today. Mitchell has 2 men to his sides. He's going to throw this one. Quick slant pass and another first down for California. Once again, it is Jordan Dandridge with the reception.
And Dandridge on that one, it looked like kind of another play similar to how he picked up the first down on the last target in his area. And just getting wide open, exploiting the secondary for the Raiders. Just getting wide open field, and Mitchell's going to find you.
California now entering the red zone here. Ball to be placed around the 16-yard line. Mitchell is back to throw, and he's going to dump this one off quickly to Jordan Dandridge. Once again, Jordan Dandridge makes a couple men miss, and he is in the end zone. Touchdown, Vulcans.
Yeah, it's a good throw by Mitchell and a good run in there by Dandridge. Dandridge is a name that we have been hearing a lot this season, and he is a key factor in this offense. I feel like, as you see there, it was a tease of a fake option, and both the ends collapsed, and he was wide open for the touchdown.
Yeah, almost a little bit of a wide receiver screen on that one. Dandridge is just getting wide open yet again, and into the end zone he goes.
Brian Brooks lined up here for the extra point. This one is up, and it is good. California takes the lead. Rather, it was no good. Sorry, it's a little hard to see from our vantage point, but nonetheless, that one is no good. So California strikes first here in this one. 12:39 remaining in the first quarter. Stick around for more Vulcans action on CUTV.
High school football is back on CUTV. Brownsville versus Bentworth. Upper Dauphin versus Millersburg. Charleroi versus Fraser. California versus Washington. Bell Vernon versus Greensburg-Salem. Elizabeth Ford versus North Catholic. Carmichaels versus Union. Ringgold versus West Mifflin. Beth Center versus Fraser. Catch all of the action on your home for high school football. CUTV, California University Television.
Welcome back here to the campus of Shippensburg University and Seth Grove Stadium for this matchup between the Red Raiders of Shippensburg and your California Vulcans. Here is the kickoff from Brian Brooks as he sends this one away. It is received by the Shippensburg return man as he works his way up the field, and he will be smothered by that California defense at around the Red Raider 18-yard line. Devin, let's take a look at some of the starters on offense here for the Red Raiders.
All right, you look at the QB number 16, Bryson Musina. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that right, but last game, he has had a big game last game against Slippery Rock, and giving them the W. He is a person to look forward to in this game. Also, the running back, 26, Marcus Lomney, is another key factor in this game. They really established the run early, as you can see here on this play.
Yep, here's the handoff to Lowney, and he's going to be stopped after a minimal gain second down for the Red Raiders.
Also something to mention, London Cloud, normally see him in the 32 jersey. He's subbed out and going for the 35 jersey as Nigel Garnett is not playing in this contest. So you might be thinking Nigel Garnett's all over the field, but the leading tackler, London Cloud, is wearing 35 here today. Number
94, Malik Akins, is also not participating in today's contest for the Vulcans. Here's Musina on second down, over the middle, a completion, and it will be 3rd and a few.
Musina showing that calm poise in the pocket, just like Noah Mitchell was. I don't know what they're breeding these quarterbacks to being comfortable in the pocket, you know, just being patient, finding the open players out there on the field, and both quarterbacks executing early in this contest.
Here's Musina on 3rd and 3. He's going to drop back for this one, and he will find his man. That will be a first down, or at least very close to it, for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, that was a good stop. Good wraparound tackle by the defensive back there. You don't want to go in with an arm tackle because he could just spin out and he's gone for the races.
It's Brennan Edwards, who's good wrap up because of that senior leadership on this team. He's one of those guys that, you know, if your number one receiver is out there on the field, your number one safety or cornerback rather is going to be matched up against him, and that's exactly what we're seeing here today.
Here's Musina on first down, once again looking to throw. California pressure getting after him, and he's just going ahead and throw this one away as it's almost intercepted there by number 7 for the Vulcans.
Yeah, Lamont McFadder, he's that interception target. He's a magnet out there on the field, and you know, you're shaking your head. You're almost exactly knew that whenever the ball is up in the air, nobody's around, Lamont McFadder is going to swarm to it, just out of the reach of his hands. But great execution by California, pressured the young quarterback in the backfield, and that allowed him to just take an errant throw off of his back foot.
First game of the year for Lamont McFadder, the preseason All-American. Here's Musina on second down. He's going to hand this one off up the middle and covered up by the Vulcans.
Yeah, good overall stop by the Vulcans. They really need to stop here so they can get the ball back and work that offense like they've been doing.
Something that we didn't see come into play on that one. Brennan Blair broke through on the right side, pressuring the quarterback, so unfortunately could not execute on that one. A good play to pass the ball off, or rather run the ball for Shippensburg, but there's some pressure out there. California showing the blitz here yet again.
Third down for the Red Raiders in their own territory. Musina is back to throw. He's going to dump it off short, and it's almost intercepted, but finds its way to the turf.
Yeah, that was a good read by the corner there. You just want to be able to secure the ball in that one, but knocking it down is the second best thing to do, and that is a great stop by the Cal defense.
And heads up jump on that one, just anticipating where the ball was going to go. Chad Garnett, another senior on this defense for California, coming up almost huge for the first drive, but nonetheless now a punt, so we're going to see what California can do when they get back out there on the field.
Special teams unit for the Red Raiders has made their way on. It is number 36, David Shank, sending this one back to California. Rather deep punt, fielded cleanly. Here comes the return man. He's got a lot of room to work with here, right up the middle. A couple men to beat, bounces off a tackler, still moving around, and finally brought down right on that Shippensburg midfield logo.
And D'Angelo Mitchell was just toe-tapping and dancing around the defenders out there on the field for Shippensburg. Almost looked like if he didn't have two of his own blockers in front of him, he could have broke that one for even more. But great field position to start off this game for California, and we're going to see if they can execute just like they did on that first drive.
Yeah, if they can go up 14-0, this will be a big, big, big lead for the Cal to feed off of.
They've been very good so far, has California, in terms of scoring in first quarters of ball games. Something they've been very comfortable with. Nonetheless, here's Mitchell with a man to his right. Mitchell's going to look to throw this one over the middle. Throw into danger, but still it's going to be a completion. I believe that's number 14, once again, Jordan Dandridge.
Yeah, Dandridge just getting wide open, and Mitchell's hitting him. So, you know, you're going to see that combination I mentioned just before the game started, that Dandridge is a familiar name that you're going to be hearing quite a bit here today, and that's proven true already through the first two possessions.
One of the things that's been nice about this California team here as they get set on 2nd and 5 is the fact that there's so many wide receivers that Noah Mitchell has to choose from as he's going to hand this off to Nelson Brown, who's going to move his way up the middle and be close to a first down.
And he always has that running back just to hand it off. If anything is getting sketchy for him, he can change it up at the line and hand it off to him right up the middle, and he'll get some yards.
But it's so nice to have a versatile group of receivers as these Vulcans do. Nonetheless, it is a 3rd down and 1 here for California on the Shippensburg 40-yard line. Mitchell is going to hand this one off to Nelson Brown. Nelson Brown makes a move, and he crawls his way across, but nonetheless, whether you run or crawl, it counts as a first down.
And that 4-3 set up front for Shippensburg couldn't come up big on a short 3rd-and-1 conversion, so now California, another fresh set of downs. Noah Mitchell and this offense can continue to work.
Fresh set of downs indeed. First down for California. On the Red Raider 36. Noah Mitchell drops back to throw this one once again over to the near side of the field. Not any crowd around him as he's going to almost make it into the end zone, but nonetheless be a few yards short.
That's just a great throw by Noah Mitchell. He's poised in the pocket. He's not worried about anything, eyeing down all his receivers, seeing all the targets, and waiting for the one to get wide open.
A lot of space in that defensive scheme there for Chad Livingston to pull in a nice reception, picking up right where he left off. Nonetheless, it is a 1st and goal now for California. 5 yards to go, so it'll be a handoff to Nelson Brown. Nelson Brown up the middle once again, and he is very close to that goal line. We'll see how it plays out.
Just to reverse that last play with Noah Mitchell connecting with Chad Livingston. Noah Mitchell, there was some pressure up front. As you said, he was poised in the pocket. Chad Livingston just broke to the outside, broke over to the sideline. Noah Mitchell already rifled the pass over, so right when Chad Livingston turned, the ball was delivered right to him. That's what you want to see, and he executed to the best of his ability on that play, setting up now a 1st and goal. 2nd and goal, rather.
Goal line package out for the Red Raiders on this 2nd and goal here. 1 yard to go. Noah Mitchell will take the snap, but there will be a flag on the play. I believe it's going to be a false start on the Vulcans, and it indeed will be. So the team will take a trot back and try it again here.
A bit of the penalty bug. Not striking early, but California really have to lock down, especially on a situation where you find yourself close to the goal line. You want to execute, especially because you missed the extra point too. So likely to see if they do score a conversion for the extra few points that they need.
Sometimes it is good for a longer set of yards between you and the end zone because you have more room to work with. So
Mitchell
we'll see how this plays out.
Here, rolling out with this one towards the far side, looking for a man in the end zone, and that's going to be intercepted by the Red Raiders. And that player will fall on it wisely.
Unlucky for the Vulcans there. Just great coverage by the Shippensburg secondary. Not much you can do about that one. It's just unlucky.
Red Raiders will take the ball back now and look to even up the score as their offensive unit comes onto the field. Danny, why not break down these defensive starters for California?
For California, they have, without actually number 94, Malik Akins, he's out of this contest, but number 97, Stephon Brown, the sophomore, 6'1", 315, and outside linebacker Breon Koch, as well as in the secondary, they have Brennan Edwards, Lamont McFadder, and Darrell Jackson. Usina
throws across the middle, and he finds his man complete for a good gain there. That will be number 19, Josh Gonterick.
And Jamal Martin Jr., the freshman, making that tackle out there on the field, and good wrap up, bringing him down to the ground, bringing up a pivotal 2nd down.
Bryson Musina. Has the ball here on 2nd and 3. It's going to be a handoff to the far side, near sideline rather. Once again, bunch of Vulcans here on this wrap-up. The ball is out and it's rolling towards the sideline. Red Raiders in the way. We can't tell from here if it made its way out of bounds or not. I believe the ball will stay with Shippensburg.
Good play by the Cal defense there. You want to get the ball out of him because you already have 2 broken tackles, so you really just want to get him down or get the ball out, and they got the ball out, but unfortunately it bounced out of bounds before they could get it.
Danny, it's nice to see a loose football on the defensive side for California, as they have yet to force a turnover on the defensive side of the ball this season.
They do, and that was resilient running from running back for Shippensburg. That was Marcus Laminian, just pushing right over to the right side, staying on his feet, and California stripped the ball out. Unlucky bounce, going out of bounds. But now we're going to see a 3rd down and short, so California could not get the ball to bounce their favor, but we're going to see if they can convert on this 3rd down.
3rd and 3 for the Red Raiders on their own 23-yard line. Musina's going to throw this one across the middle once again and take a licking. Will that Shippensburg receiver, and he will be close to first down. It will be a first down.
Yeah, Mari right on that one. The redshirt freshman coming up big for the Red Raiders. Keep moving those chains down the field. So for California on the defense, it's led by a lot of seniors. For Shippensburg on their offense, led by a lot of younger guys, a lot of redshirt freshmen or even true freshmen out there on the field. So both teams are just putting their best out there on the field here today.
Putting their best out there indeed as Musina takes this one and goes with a handoff up the middle to Lamini. Lamini working his way through the levels of the defense. A lot of room to run. Big gain for the Red Raiders.
It's actually number 6, Raleigh Serb. Went to Central Dauphin High School, and the familiar name. Close friend in high school as well. Did not even know that he was playing here at Shippensburg here today, but getting to the second level of defense for California and bursting through for a big first down.
Cool little realization there for Central Dauphin grad Danny Beck. Sees a classmate on the field. Nonetheless, Musina's going over the middle. Dangerous throw, almost intercepted, but will find its way to the turf once again.
Especially in the area of ball magnet, Lamont McFadder, as well as Brendan Blair. Blair almost broke the pass up with one hand, tried to reach back with it and catch it as the ball fell down to the turf.
Second down for the Red Raiders. They have officially crossed into California territory, specifically the Vulcans 49. 5:24 remaining in the first quarter of action here from Shippensburg. Musina's going to hand this one off up the middle once again. A lot of room to run for these Shippensburg backs here as another first down is converted.
Yeah, if you're the Vulcans right now, you really want to close those holes before they get opened up, and you just want to put pressure on this quarterback before he can even hand the ball off. You want to get to him before, like, you want to get in his head before he says hike. You want to make him nervous. You want to make him nervous, and right now he's not looking that nervous.
Definitely want to play some mind games as well as some football games here this afternoon. 4:57 running here as Musina's going with a handoff once again. Nowhere to go for the back, but he makes his way back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, if they can get a stop here, this will be a huge, huge out for the Vulcans.
Raleigh Serb continues to stay in the game at the running back position for the Red Raiders.
It almost looks like Raleigh Serb, similar running style to Christian McCaffrey, has that kind of one step at the line of scrimmage, decides where the holes are out there on the field, and then pushes right through them. That allowed them to pick up quite a few yards, with 2 first downs in Raleigh Serb's name.
Musina with a man to his left here as he will fake the handoff and go across the middle. And that one's going to be intercepted by California. First interception of the year, rolling around with room to work, and I think he might be off to the races here. We'll see how it plays out. Working 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Vulcans!
Great read by the linebacker there. He sees that the quarterback's being pressured, and he takes the ball into his own hands, puts a little spin move there, hit the B button, and he followed some blockers all the way into the end zone.
And I believe that was Jimmy Pierce, so that is his first touchdown of his career here in California. Covered him quite a bit with Laurel Highlands. Stephen Ruffing, a familiar face on our high school roundup show with Jimmy Pierce, but Chad Livingston, his former teammate on the Laurel Highlands Mustangs, getting into the end zone. Huge play for California.
Brian also Brooks for the extra point here, looking to right the wrongs of last time, as this one will indeed be complete. The score now 13-0 in favor of your California Vulcans. 4:04 remaining in the first quarter of action. Stick around for more football here on CUTV.
Action!
Welcome back to Shippensburg University for this Division II football contest between your California Vulcans and the Red Raiders of Shippensburg. I'm Colin Kirkwood, joined alongside by Danny Beck and Devin Arena. Here is the kickoff received by the Red Raiders. Moving around, a lot of room once again on special teams for the Red Raiders as they are set up with some great field position here.
Marcus Lumini on the kick return, giving them great field position, as you said, Colin, but a great interception from Jimmy Pierce on that last play. 71-yard touchdown on an interception, and just getting back on the board. That's something that California had to do in this first quarter because of how they stall in the third quarter. So you set yourselves up now for a little bit of leeway to kind of allow your team to get back into the game, but if you're Coach Dunn, you don't want to see that.
First defensive score for the team as well in this young season. That's going to be a handoff to the far side of the field here. Shoestring tackle. Good work by the Vulcans.
Yeah, you can see that stiff arm went out, kind of missed the top of his head, and he was able to wrap around his ankle there, and that's just a great overall tackle by the Vulcans there.
Could have been a bit dangerous. Could that runner have made his way out of that tackle? Nonetheless, 2nd and 4 here from the Red Raider 44. Here's Musina with a man to his right. He's going to offer the handoff and change his mind. He's going to take a big hit there, and I do believe that will be a roughing the passer penalty on California, as that one was indeed complete.
I believe that's on Lamont McFadder as well in the backfield. Big hit. It will be a roughing the passer call, Colin. So you don't want to see that for California. Now 2 penalties pushing them back, and now on defense going forward, some free yards that you do not want to give to your opponent, especially because of the fact that you're up 13-0 already here in the first quarter.
Yeah, you do not want to lead with your head if you're going to be tackling the quarterback like that, and you do not want to hit him definitely after he throws the ball, because that's easy yards for Shippensburg offense now.
Big gain off the penalty now into California territory are these Red Raiders. Musina will drop back to throw this one. California pressure getting into his face. He's going to air this one out, and it's going to be a second interception. Back-to-back picks for the Vulcans. How about that, Jack?
Yeah, that's just a great read by the defensive back there, number 17. Jermo Martin Jr., sorry if I mispronounced that, but great overall read there to bring it down, secure it, fall on his back, be able to get the interception there and get the ball back for the Vulcans after that costly penalty that they gave up.
I wouldn't say that was a good read either from Bryson Musina. Kind of had a one-on-one throwing off his back foot, had some pressure yet again. That was Stephon Brown in the backfield, and just throwing the ball up in the air, and Jamal Martin attacked the ball at its highest point and brought the ball back down to the turf for the California Vulcans.
California taking over now. 1st down and 10, moving up the field is Nelson Brown. Nelson Brown, with that north-south running style, puts his head down and plows up the middle of the field. Give him about a gain of 2.
Yeah, you want to see that from the Cal Vulcans. Keep pushing that run, because then they can use that play action later in the game. And as we see, Noah Mitchell is a deadly force in the air as well as on the ground.
2nd and 8 here for Noah Mitchell and his crew. Nelson Brown's going to take a handoff once again, working towards the far side. Hurdles one man, comes down close to the chains. I believe that will be a 3rd down.
That hurdle kind of looked like Saquon. One of my buddies on here, Danny Beck, that's one of your favorite players right now.
Oh, without a doubt, it has to be my favorite player. He's one of the big poster children of the New York Giants. So, yeah, very reminiscent of Saquon Barkley, and almost picked up the 1st down on that play. Maybe a little bit less of a Saquon play, not picking up the 1st down, but still moving the ball up the field.
3rd and 1 for the Vulcans on their own 16-yard line. Nelson Brown's going to receive this one, make a couple men miss, and find his way across a 1st down as he passes the 20-yard line.
And Nelson Brown definitely has that strong running style for California. Haven't seen that in quite a few years. Also, haven't seen Jalen Bell come into this contest yet. Only has 16 net yards this entire season at 10 plays from scrimmage. So once he gets his chance to shine, he's that east and west runner that can make some space with his feet. So now we're going to see if he comes back into this game. But Nelson Brown getting a lot of these touches early on in the season.
1st down for California once again on their own 20. Nelson Brown's going to receive another handoff up the middle, and he will be taken down for barely anything, perhaps getting just back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, if the Vulcans can make something out of this drive here, they would be up 19 without the point after attempt. They would be up 19-0, and that's just a big, big deficit for Shippensburg to be down by, and that would kind of give you a little lee room for that third quarter that you were talking about, Danny.
They definitely want to just really extend their lead early on in the contest. And we really expected that. Their first quarter, it seems like it's always their strongest quarter. So we expected to see this here today.
Noah Mitchell looking to throw this one, and it's going to be complete to the far sideline, dancing around and pushed out of bounds by a host of Red Raiders. Will be third down.
That was Craig Thompson out there for California. That's another target. Also haven't seen Tyson Hill catch a ball here today. So we have Tyson Hill, Chad Livingston, Craig Thompson, and Jordan Dandridge. So that's one of those guys that, because when you're a utility guy, he comes in short yardage situations. On that one, just short of the first down marker.
Third down and 2. This will perhaps be the last play of the first quarter as 12 seconds remain on the clock. Here's Noah Mitchell on third down looking to throw. Quick slant, once again, dragged by the hair, but still getting away is Tyson Hill. Tyson Hill, he is off to the races. Touchdown, Vulcans. Great run there.
Yeah, that was a great run there. Way to break away from his defender. The shoestring tackles did not work there. He was tiptoeing all the way down in his Jordans, as I can see from here.
And Tyson Hill, I don't really think that Shippensburg was expecting that. Tyson Hill's first touch of the game all the way to the end zone, just extending their lead even more. You love to see this on the road, starting off with 19 points pending this extra point attempt. But California, what a way to start this game.
Here is a flag on this extra point attempt. Not sure which way this will go.
Too many people on the field, it looks like, for the, Shippensburg.
Ah, yes, too many men on the field for the Red Raiders. Good eye, Devin. Things will be sorted out here. Clock says 0. It will be declined by California, and they will go ahead and kick this extra point. Brian also Brooks ready for his third attempt of the day here. Low snap, that one is up and will be good here. So California has a 20-0 lead at the end of the first quarter. Stick around for more action here on CU TV.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Welcome back for the second quarter of action in this PSAC East and West crossover battle between your California Vulcans and the Red Raiders of Shippensburg. Colin Kirkwood alongside of me, Danny Beck and Devin Arena. Thank you for having us into your homes on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Kickoff is up and away, received by the Red Raider, and he will choose to run this one out. This is a very deep kick, nonetheless brought down right at the 20-yard line. Perhaps they'll mark it at the 19.
Yeah, that's tough to see there by Shippensburg. You expect to hit for him to let that one go, and you get the ball at the basically almost the same place, if not further, than where you returned it from, and not risk getting hurt.
Bryson Musina comes back out onto the field. Interesting note about him, he is the son of former MLB pitcher Mike Musina, who used to play numerous seasons with the New York Yankees and the Baltimore Orioles, a name I remember quite fondly from watching baseball when I was a youngster. Nonetheless, he has it now, and it's going to be a handoff up the middle. Working towards the far sideline here is that speedy back, Raleigh Serb. He continues to stay in the game, Danny.
Yeah, and he had all of the weight of big number 97, Stephon Brown, come down on him, so he's likely, it looks like, kind of lost his breath on that one, but big body, 315, coming down on the small 200-pound frame of Raleigh Serb.
Let's take a look at the PSAC West standings here, East rather. Kutztown at the top of the charts here after beating California last week. Shippensburg holding down that second spot. Tough draw for California, taking on the top two in the first 3 weeks of the season. Westchester hanging in there in third. Bloomsburg towards the middle of the pack, and rounding out the crew is East Stroudsburg, Lock Haven, and Millersville.
That's actually the East there, Colin. A little bit switch up on the graphics, mix up, but yeah, nonetheless, this Raiders team has already solidified their spot right there at the top of the PSAC East. And you know, this PSAC East is pretty top heavy this season. We already saw one game from Kutztown last season, or last game, excuse me, and he came out very strong side in that contest.
A couple of great teams over here on this side of the state that we aren't necessarily exposed to normally. Westchester, Shippensburg, even Kutztown playing a big part here today. Here is 2nd and 2. Musina going to offer a handoff, change his mind. He's going to be sacked for a loss. Lamont McFadder making his presence known here today.
Not a switch up you'd want to see, as the option play quite a few times already. Quarterback, though, kept that one, Bryson Musina, and kept it all the way down to the ground as he was brought down from Lamont McFadder.
Yeah, if you're a lineman on Shippensburg, you did not want to see that. You're probably getting torn out by the coach on the sidelines. They do not like to see their freshman quarterback get hit, and I think that kind of rattled him a little bit, and let's see if it affects his game from now on.
3rd and 10 here, Musina looking to throw. California pressure getting at him once again, and the dump off will be smothered and dealt with by this California defense, bringing up 4th down. Good effort there by the defense to cover up that safety valve dump off there and force a 4th down. Playing great ball defensively here today.
That was a great read by Gerald Brown there, the defensive lineman. He kind of just stuck with the lineman at the end and then just basically wrapped his arms around the running back there so he could get no yards.
It almost looked like he was trying to go in for the interception a little bit late on getting over there, but still came up and got the big tackle.
Shank's punt is down right around the Vulcans 45, and it will come to rest at the California 39-yard line.
Now we're going to look over at the California schedule. You can see there are 2 losses right away off the season in Columbus at Ohio Dominican and then at Kutztown. Here, obviously, today you can see in yellow at Shippensburg. So starting off this season with some long road trips, trying to right their wrongs of 2 losses to start off the season. Next week at home against Edinboro and home against IUP. Switch up not that far down the road against Clarion. But, you know, this California team kind of drew the short end of the stick in that regards, having to play 3 far away road trips to start off the season.
And I'll tell you what, it will be great to be back at Adamson Stadium next week. Nonetheless, here is Noah Mitchell dropping back to throw this one. He's going to go across the field and into danger as Chad Livingston was triple covered there, and fortunately it falls incomplete. Almost
a good miss on that play. Quite a few guys around Chad Livingston. You don't really see that much out of Noah Mitchell. It looks like whenever he comes up with incompletions, he hits the receiver right in his chest plate and the ball bounces on the ground. But on that one, just over his head, out of his reach.
Going back to the California schedule, next week is, of course, Family Day at Adamson Stadium. We hope to see as many people out as possible here as Mitchell's going to fake the handoff and once again ultimately decide to go with it. And good run for Nelson Brown as he's brought down near that 1st down marker.
Great blocking by the Vulcans up front there, just making holes for the running back to go through and just make his life easier.
Family Day, as I said once again earlier, we hope to see as many fans out as possible. It would be great to be back at Adamson Stadium. I have not been there in quite some time. This has been 4 straight road games counting back to last season as I made the drive all the way to Massachusetts last year with now alumni Anthony D'Agostino. Noah Mitchell is going to pass to the near sideline, and that'll be Jordan Dandridge, and he will catch that one for a 1st down But a bit of a late tackle there by the Shippensburg defense.
And more slant plays and more first downs picked up by Jordan Dandridge. And on that one, Noah Mitchell found exactly where his receiver was going to be, past the chains. And just another first down picked up by this wide receiver core for California.
We touched on this a little bit earlier in the week on my radio show about the middle linebacking core for Shippensburg, as Noah Mitchell will go for a screen look here, and it will be a reception, spin move for Chad Livingston, but he will be dropped. A good gain, give him about 7. Nonetheless, we talked about this middle part of the defense for the Red Raiders here, and we talked about how that might be the place that California needs to set their sights on in order to be successful here today.
Yeah, they do need to keep the pressure up on Noah Mitchell, and they need to get him out of his comfort zone, because right now it's looking like he's getting in that comfort zone that we have been seeing in earlier games.
Very poised and collected and calm in that pocket, allowing him to just find the open players out there on the field.
Noah Mitchell's going to roll far side with this one. Nice throw to that far sideline. Once again, another first down. Moving and grooving today.
Great play call by Coach Dunn there. You could see the one flat wide receiver, he runs a flat, and then the curl route is wide open, brings that corner right down, and it leaves a wide open space for Noah Mitchell to get his ball through.
You normally never see a quarterback going to the left and then throwing left again. And Noah Mitchell on that one had a reverse where he was kind of turn his upper body and still managed to make the great throw down the field.
Noah Mitchell going to the near sideline. A little bit too high on that one, incomplete to Chad Livingston.
It was a little rushed, it looked like, but I feel like it was kind of one of those good misses that you talked about earlier, Danny, because it looked like he was behind the line of scrimmage a little too far, and it could have been a loss of yards.
10:49 remaining in the second quarter of action here from Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. Second down and 10 for California. Lots of twos here today. Second down, second quarter. Will this be a second touchdown on offense for California as Noah Mitchell throws this one, and I think it will be. Almost had me there. Nonetheless, it'll be brought down short. Tyson Hill with the reception.
He must have our headsets in his helmet because of the fact that on that last drive for California, said Tyson Hill has yet to make a reception, made the reception and got into the end zone. Just as you were mentioning Tyson Hill and trying to get into the end zone, he comes right down at the 2-yard line. So Colin, you and I might be magicians, kind of making what we want to see happen out there on the field.
Perhaps we should start our own traveling magic show. We can perform it all sorts of places. Noah Mitchell going for that touchdown pass, but incomplete there. Good defense by the Red Raiders.
Looks like the tight end there got a little tripped up halfway through his route, and if I'm Mitchell, I'm looking there and I see him get tripped up at first, and if I can't get that ball in, I'm going to try and run to the pylon and get it in.
And also, with head coach Chad Salisbury, you never want to see your quarterback run. He never likes to see his quarterbacks run. So you don't really call in that situation, even throw the ball away. But he was trying to go over to Dylan Stallings just out of his reach.
Here's second and goal now for Mitchell. Mitchell opting for a handoff to Nelson Brown, who's going to be chopped down right as he receives that one.
This is where California's line needs to make a hole and needs to buckle down here pretty much to get the score here so they can get up 26-0. That would be a great lead for them to have before this third quarter that you've been talking about, Danny, their slump.
Third down and goal for these Vulcans. Noah Mitchell with a man to his left. Nelson Brown's going to receive this football and put his head down and bulldoze into the end zone. Touchdown, Vulcans.
Another run right up the middle of the field for Nelson Brown, gets into the end zone. That's something that California has really lacked a few years ago, with just running right up the middle, pushing through, especially in a short yardage situation like that. Another score, more points put up on the board for California.
Here's Brian also Brooks for the extra point attempt here. I believe there'll be a false start on California. Lots of jumping on that line there. It'll rather go down as an offsides on the Red Raiders.
If you're California right now, if you're Coach Dunn, you don't want to push anything right now on offense. You want to just let your defense do the work after you score.
Here is also Brooks now. This one is up and hits the cameraman on the podium behind, but nonetheless, that one is complete here. So the score now reads 27 for your Vulcans and 0 for the Red Raiders of Shippensburg. 9:41 remaining in the second quarter. Stick around for more Vulcans football coverage here on CUTV.
Mrs. and Mrs. Jimmy at the debut. I came from 5 generations of teachers. Losing my job was the bottom falling out of my world.
We are back here for this action between the Vulcans and the Red Raiders here as Brian Brooks sends that teed up football into the end zone where it will be fair caught. Welcome back into this simulcast here as we are broadcasting live on YouTube from CUTV Sports 1 as well as the same broadcast on WCAL. I'm Colin Kirkwood alongside Danny Beck and Devin Arena. Glad to have you with us on this Saturday afternoon.
That last drive, big push from Nelson Brown to get into the end zone, but also some help early on in this game. A 71-yard touchdown from Jimmy Pierce to the house on an interception, as well as Tyson Hill, a little bit of a slant route, 71 yards into the house as well. So California, this is what they wanted to start. Going up against a tough PSAC East opponent and coming up putting 27 points up in the first half. That's awesome. You want to see that.
Here's Bryson Musina from his own 25. Fake the handoff, will go for a throw instead. Not many people around there for that receiver as a great gain for these Red Raiders. And just like that, one play, they're into Vulcan territory.
Yeah, the defense just has to buckle down on that one. That's just a great throw and a great catch by Shippensburg there, and not much you can do about it except for try and knock the ball out of his hands.
Perhaps California did not dial up the right package there, or perhaps a great play by the receiver. We will never know. But here is Musina on the handoff up the middle. Nowhere to go on that one for Serb.
Also something to mention, Jamal Martin Jr. giving the Shippensburg wide receivers a lot of space at the line of scrimmage. Be careful for a little bit of an audible being set up. Those slant routes, they've proven already to work in California's favor, but Shippensburg can execute on those as well. California on defense has cracked down this entire contest, this entire first half of the game. But, just give a little bit too much space, and those wide receivers get to work for Shippensburg, get back in this game.
Here's Musina. Man to his right, and it is Serb. Serb will take this handoff, and he will be covered up immediately by a host of Vulcans.
Yeah, this Vulcan defense is looking totally different and totally rejuvenated after their first turnovers of the season. They get 2, let alone in this game.
Great read there from Aaron Brown at the line of scrimmage. That free safety, coming up to the line of scrimmage, getting in the backfield.
And we're going to have a flag here on this series of events. I believe it will either be an offsides or a false start. If I was a gambling man, I would say offsides. And Danny, as you mentioned, these quick slants really working in California's favor, really attacking that middle of the field on defense once again. They've done it multiple times here, and it was indeed an offsides on defense here for California, and Shippensburg will move up a few more yards.
Speaking of that penalty bug you were talking about earlier, Danny, it kind of looks like it's lurking in on the defense, and hopefully it doesn't stick around too long.
Man behind Musina now, as he will hand it off to Serb, and Serb will take a tumble there. It looks like he perhaps didn't quite get the angle he was looking for and hit the deck.
Great stop by the Vulcans here. Way to buckle down and make up for that long pass that they have given up earlier in the drive.
And Breon Coate came in and hit, and the new sub-in, Chase Yoakum, for Shippensburg. We've seen a subbed out, and Yoakum comes into this contest, but takes a little bit of a lick on that one, but now setting up their offense.
Here's Musina on a screenplay here, and that one will go nowhere. Covered up by California. Well played indeed.
Chase Yoakum, as you mentioned, it is first down California now because it is a turnover on downs. But Chase Yoakum, as you were saying earlier, coming from one of my hometowns near Reading, Pennsylvania, Exeter. We played them once time in high school, and he's just a beast on offense. And we're going to see what he gets to do here in this game.
Fourth down choice proved wrong for these Red Raiders here as California will take over on their own 43. Noah Mitchell's going to take this pass and deliver right near that marker, ultimately gain of 1 or 2.
Yeah, Dandridge on that one. A very similar play to when they had Gary Brown, this California Vulcans team. They executed that quite a bit with Gary Brown, trying to emulate that same success here today against the Red Raiders. Could not on that play bring up a 2nd down and 8.
And ultimately, when you are down 27 points, going for 4th down might not be a bad idea, but here is Nelson Brown being taken down by the crew of Red Raiders. Nowhere to go on that one.
Yeah, California offense is just looking to establish more run game and trying to keep pushing this and maybe even chipping off some clock here and keeping that lead going into halftime.
3rd down and 9 for the Vulcans. Mitchell, man to his right, 4 wide. Here's Mitchell, he's going to air this one out, and it will be complete to Chad Livingston, who will find his way for another 1st down, and he is having success on the sidelines here today.
Yeah, he really is, and he's slamming that B button yet again. Quite a few spins already from Chad Livingston, evading some defenders and keep moving the ball up the field. Fresh set of chains now for California and their offense. Noah Mitchell firing on all cylinders here today.
Noah Mitchell has 238 passing yards to his credit here so far. A bit of trickery here for the Vulcans as the end around will go for a few yards after that booming hit there.
Yeah, that looked like the Philly special play, like I was saying last night. These trick plays can trickle down from the NFL to the collegiate league, and you just never know when they're going to pop up.
Might have to put Noah Mitchell here on record watch, as 473 yards is the record for most passing yards in a game, and he would need over that to break it here. Great tip from alumni Anthony D'Agostino. Nelson Brown bounces off a couple of defenders here. Strong running for a great 1st down.
Nelson Brown just turned on the beast mode, evading some defenders. And just to touch back on that stat, he's actually at 985 yards through 3 games already to this point. So Noah Mitchell has just been lighting up the scoreboard, especially here today, with 27 points already, but 985 passing yards already through 3 games. This man is the real deal.
Mitchell with a man to his right. It's Brown. Brown's going to receive this football, and he's going to work towards the far sideline. No one to beat here. Two guys getting towards the pylon. Will he tiptoe in? He will. Tiptoe through the tulips. Touchdown, Nelson Brown.
Brown is just a resilient runner. He is literally a splitting image almost as Saquon, as you saw in the last play with that hit stick. It's just amazing to see a great running back in this Cal offense to fuel not only the running game, but the passing game as well, because it puts fear in the defense.
You might even call it the fueled by fire, California, or the Vulcans, that Roman god of fire. So this California team here today, they are lighting up the scoreboard with every facet of their game.
Here is also Brooks to attempt this extra point. A little bit of movement on the line, but nonetheless, it will go down as completed. So the score now reads 34-0 in favor of your California Vulcans. 5:08 remaining in the 1st half of action. Make sure you stick around for more football coverage here on CU TV.
High school football is back on CU TV. Brownsville versus Bentworth. Upper Dauphin versus Millersburg. Charleroi versus Fraser. California versus Washington. Bell Vernon versus Greensburg-Salem. Elizabeth Ford versus North Catholic. Carmichaels versus Union. Ringgold versus West Mifflin. Beth Center versus Fraser. Catch all of the action on your home for high school football. CUTV, California University Television.
Welcome back to Shippensburg, Pennsylvania for this matchup, as also Brooks sends this one away to the receiver, and he will wisely let this one bounce out of the end zone.
Beautiful day here out in central Pennsylvania. As you can see, the sun peeks out of all the clouds that were covering it. There's no clouds in sight anymore. Looks like there's not going to be that much shade today, but it is a lot of sunlight, and that could affect people on the field and getting hot. And you got to stay hydrated and not cramp up.
Yeah, these players need to stay hydrated and make sure the evil cramps don't find their way onto the field for them. So we have a nice little shaded area in the press box today. Big thank you to Shippensburg for their staff being so hospitable towards us. We appreciate you for allowing us to broadcast this game. But nonetheless, here is Musina on first down from his own 25. And I do believe that is Limey who's made his way back into the game for the Red Raiders, as he bounces off a couple of Vulcan defenders and is absolutely demolished on that sideline over there.
That was London Cloud wearing number 35 for Nigel Garnett, and coming up very slow for the Red Raiders. Now he's back out onto the field, but this California defense, a few arm tackles on that play, and then London Cloud came up and just delivered the hit stick yet again. We are seeing a different California defense, different California offense. This is unlike what we've seen in the first two games for this California team. Something happened.
Flag here on this free play. Musina's going to air this one long, and it will fall incomplete. And we will see what these referees agree on. I'd like to apologize. It is Marcus Lomini, not Limey. A little mistake here. Offsides on California will be the call. We will remain second down. 4:49 left in the half.
If Cal can get a stop here, it's almost like putting away the deficit and trying to score more points so they can have that cushion for that third quarter drought, because you never know what the Shippensburg is going to come out halftime doing.
I think we'll have another, I believe this might be a false start, because Lamont McFadder came flying through the line here. It will rather go on California once again, so free yards being handed out to the Red Raiders.
Yeah, this,
in bunches.
This penalty bug is definitely here and concurrent, because we have seen the last two drives for Cal's defense, just penalty after penalty, but then they do eventually make up for it. So we will see if they make up for it here.
Yeah, concurrent. You might have a dictionary in front of you, Devin. That's a big word for a little guy.
I've got to love it. There's Musina's going to throw this one. Wise move by the receiver to come back to that one and pick up about a gain of 4. That was Winston Eubanks.
I was just going to say Winston Eubanks on that one, coming back to the football. Musina just coming back and rifling back into this contest. Big body. You said he was the son of a MLB player, 6'5", 190 pounds. So he definitely has that same frame of 6'4", Noah Mitchell for California.
Here's Musina looking to throw once again, and he's going to miss everyone on this one, as it will fall incomplete.
Looks like a little miscommunication with him and the wide receiver there. Looked like it was supposed to be an out route, and he did a post, and they both got confused there. So a little miscommunication here, and Shippensburg could be a little messed up in the head here. You're kind of playing mind games with this Cal defense going on and off, and we'll see if they can keep it up here and make it an interesting game. But if not, these Cal Vulcans could run away with this game.
3rd and 7 for the Red Raiders now on their own 37. Here's Musina in the pocket now. He's going to opt to throw this one, and a little bit of a dangerous throw as that receiver spins out of one arm tackle and somehow manages to get a first down. we go from dangerous throw there with a chance to be intercepted to a first down for the Red Raiders, Danny.
Yeah, out of position was the California defense. It looked like, as there was only a man defense on that far side of the field, the man goes up and there's nobody around. It looked like the zone help kind of was going over to the left side of the field. That left that entire right side wide open, and that allowed him to just tiptoe down the sideline and pick up the first down.
Here is this first down play now. Nearing California territory is Shippensburg. You've is going to hand this one off right up the middle. Another sizable gain as they really seem to be finding success running up the heart of this California defense. Could be contributed to, once again, Malik Akins not being involved here in action today for California. Here is the second down play, 2nd and 7. Yusina once again going for the handoff as Lomini bounces off a couple of tacklers and continues to just grind away these yards up the middle, Devin.
Yeah, this defensive front. Oh, it looks like we have an injury on the field here, and we will figure out who that is for you. Looks like it is number 70, Timothy Quigley, the defensive lineman, and that's tough to see there. You already have one lineman out, a defensive lineman out, and you don't want any more to be gone.
And it could have been that sub-in for Malik Akins because of the fact that he's not into this contest. Quigley came in as a redshirt freshman, 6'3", 270 pounds, trying to fill in for the 6', 285-pound Malik Akins. So one of those veteran players out in this contest, and a younger guy has to step up quickly now down on the field, so hopefully he has a speedy recovery.
Let's take a look at these PSAC West standings here as Edinburgh and Indiana rather, stand at the top of the table here, 2-0 each of them. Clarion and Slippery Rock at 1-1, and rounding out the bottom are California, Gannon, Mercyhurst, and Seton Hill, who both sit at 0-2.
You love to see that, though, him walking off the field basically by himself, just holding on a little bit, walking himself off, and you just love to see that because it knows that it's not as serious of an injury as somebody who could be carted off.
Here is third down for the Red Raiders now as they have crossed midfield on the Vulcan 49. We have a whistle here. It'll be a timeout charge to California. Quite a score line we have here today. And Devin, where would you award success throughout this first half? Which unit?
I would award it to the defense. They have really stepped up in this first half. They have forced 2 turnovers, one being a pick 6, and it's just been amazing to see. They get the stops. They have buckled down on all the times they needed to, and they have been just doing their job so the offense can come on here, and if not come on there because they get a touchdown, and they can just do their job as well at their good field position. So.
Yeah, and already California today on offense, actually total yards, they have 331 yards compared to Shippensburg's 101 yards. So this California team came out strong, and they're firing on all cylinders. Noah Mitchell is 14 of 19 for 256 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. That is a 211.1% quarterback percentage.
Jordan Dandridge being the leading receiver, or rather leading in targets here, as he's pulled in 6 receptions for 69 yards and a touchdown. As the leading receiver is Tyson Hill with 2 for 92 yards in terms of yardage. And we will have, I believe, a timeout by Shippensburg now. So let's go ahead and dive back into these California statistics here, moving down. Devin, break down the rushing totals for California.
All right, the total yards for the Vulcans, 75 this game. Well, 75 for rushing this game, and that's something you don't really like to see that much if you're the Vulcans. You kind of want to have a little bit more to work with, but nonetheless, that is amazing amount of yards in the first half, plus you have a rushing touchdown, and that's just something to put under your belt there if you're a lineman for this Cal Vulcans team. And just keeping the quarterback safe is what you want to do for this Vulcans team, and make sure that nobody gets shaken up in the backfield, no big names are hurt, and just keep them out on the field.
And Nelson Brown has 2 touchdowns already. His longest rush is only 19 yards, so he pieces plays together. That's hard-nosed running, as he has 72 yards already here today.
Here's Musina now, and it's going to be a shovel pass into trouble as it is covered up there by Shippensburg, and I believe we have an injured Red Raider.
Just amazing read by the defense there. As I was saying earlier, this defense has buckled down, and it looks like there is a little pushing and shoving here, maybe a possible fight here as flags are thrown and more laundry is on the field.
This is something you definitely don't want to see between either teams. Sportsmanship is a big part of the game here, and leading or being down by this scoreline, you need to keep your head in the game in order to increase your lead or get back into the ball game.
Yeah, not sure about that one. It looked like everybody was coming off the field, and then a Red Raider sprinted back out and came at a California player. So see what this flag is. Quite a few years ago, our freshman year, Colin, I believe you were here for the fall semester, but we saw a lot of these, personal foul calls, and that was something that we saw what the highest total, how many yards would go against California each game. When Gary Dunn came in, cut all of that out, and really got this team functioning as a team. So now we're not seeing many of those personal fouls, but California cracking down has to keep a level head, especially when you're up 34-0.
Yeah, has to stay disciplined.
Will go down as an unsportsmanlike conduct on California. Number 25, Jaquay Jackson, the recipient of that personal foul. You were right, Danny, indeed. I was not around at that time. I was still at Mansfield University of Pennsylvania. Of course, they do not have D2 football.
And that was actually on number 35, London Cloud. Yeah, 25 wide receiver out there. So London Cloud, he has a high motor. He's one of those guys that likes to be very energized and get his team into contests, but a little bit too much, and on that play, it hurts California.
My mistake, misinterpreted that one. Of course, they, meaning Mansfield, do not have Division II football, as that program was discontinued. They now have sprint football.
Which is just as cool, I think, in my opinion. Going against teams, I believe Navy, one of the teams that they play against.
And Army as well.
And Army. So, Mansfield, very competitive in the whole sprint football kind of things, but very unique as well, because I believe there's a weight limit for sprint football.
Correct.
And another team that has discontinued the football program, Cheney. As you can see, and that kind of shook up our schedule this year, and we have to go and play
shook up quite a few teams in the East in terms of them either opting for having a bye week or finding an opponent to round out their schedule, as Shippensburg has replaced Cheney with all discombobulated there. Sorry about that one, folks, but nonetheless, that one will fall incomplete. But the Red Raiders have replaced Cheney on their schedule with LIU Post.
Yeah, I think it was all started. Devin kind of threw us for a little bit of a loop on that one.
Yeah,
exactly who they were playing.
Yeah, I think the person that replaced us in our schedule was Mercyhurst, I think, actually.
Mercyhurst is a PSAC West opponent we play every single year. Last year it was the Cheney kind of switch. They played 2 games at home, 2 games away.
Right.
And last year was the switch. So we didn't have to play Cheney this year. A lot of other teams, though, had to make that switch.
Usina for a throw here to the near sideline. That one is complete. And falling down on that one for the Red Raiders is Josh Kinterick once again. 3rd down and 5 as the clock is just about to hit 2 minutes here in this first half.
Yeah, if you're the Vulcans here, you want to stay disciplined and you want to get this stop here so they don't end up scoring before the half. You want to keep them at 0.
Usina with a man to his right, trips to the far side. Looking to throw, and he will go to the near side, as that is a dangerous play, and it will be a completion, and flags will fly after this.
I'm sure those flags came in pretty early on that one if it's going to be a pass interference. He was playing defense right on his back. Likely to see pass interference, though, on California.
Winston Eubanks, the one to reel in that throw. It will go down as a pass interference penalty for California on number 3, Brendan Edwards.
And on that play, you could see it right away. Brendan Edwards jumping in. Almost looked like it was on his back of the intended receiver on that one, but a little bit early for that call to come in. Nonetheless, it's still going to go against California and bring up an automatic first down.
That penalty bug is still around, and you don't want to see that here. You kind of want to get rid of it at halftime. If I'm the defensive coordinator here, I just got to tell them to settle down a little bit.
Switch back earlier, I promoted Chad Salisbury to head coach, offensive coordinator for California, quarterbacks coach even.
Here's Musino on a long ball as he takes a big hit, and it's going to be the 3rd interception of the day for California here, pulled down by the jersey in the end zone. What an effort on defense from California.
Tell you what, I don't know what happened in the off week. That is his 2nd one here today. Another just 50-50 ball. Martin went up and grabbed the ball at its highest point. So California, big play there for the Vulcans.
Yeah, that defense is just buckling down, making big plays, and instead of getting tackled in the end zone, it looks like they are at the 1 now for this offensive drive. So looking at Noah Mitchell here and seeing what he can do and see if he can facilitate and get out of this sketchy zone here.
Quite a placement of the football here for the Vulcans. It is on their own 2-yard line.
A performance from this freshman as well, Jamal Martin, 2nd interception here today.
Jumbo formation here as Mitchell will go ahead and plow this one straight ahead to get a few breathing room yards.
He is a big individual, and he can just get the yards he needs. So that is a great play call right there, just to give him a little lee room and breathing room as they go back into the huddle and discuss the next play.
And just continue to have this clock tick down. In this situation, you're backed up against the wall. You're talking about maybe if, Gary Dunn is going to go for push the pedal at the end of the 2nd quarter, but you're already up 34-0. You don't want to risk any points being put on the board for Shippensburg, maybe in the form of a safety. So really wouldn't fault them if they just ran the clock out here.
Here's a rush to Nelson Brown as he dances out of danger here, very close to a safety on that one.
Yeah, the offensive line has to make sure that nobody gets through. There's no mistakes on the line, and just to get a hole open for Nelson Brown to get through and at least get a couple yards so they can get some more breathing room and potentially run out this clock here.
30 seconds remaining in the half. One would think that California will settle with the score they have. Under 10 seconds now, as this should run the clock out for the first half. 3 seconds remaining, and California will take a timeout here with exactly 3.2 seconds remaining on the clock.
If you guys are the coaches here, I think if I'm the coach here, I just want to get the ball into the locker room and just be ready for the next half. I just want to kneel the ball, and if it is too far back, I don't think it is too far back to kneel, and if it is, then potentially just run right up the middle with the quarterback, just try and dive over that lineman just to get a couple yards so he doesn't get pushed back.
I would even line up under center and have Noah Mitchell just push forward, see if he can get some positive yards, but yeah, the play clock was running down on that last play, so head coach Gary Dunn smart taking the timeout, but
rather than a penalty.
Yeah, most definitely rather than a penalty, because then you would have been backed up half a distance to the goal line, which they're already at. Figure the 1 yard line, so backed up even more. It's going to be tough to run this clock out. So heads up play by Gary Dunn. He knows what he's doing down there. That's why he's head coach.
That's why he's head coach indeed here, as it will be a 3rd down and 9 to go, and right up the middle again will California go, and that will end the half here in Shippensburg as the scoreline reads 34 for your California Vulcans, 0 for the homestanding Shippensburg Raiders. Make sure you return for second half action right here on CUTV.
Patriotism. There's a word thrown around a lot. It inspires passionate debate and is worn like a badge of honor, and with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. Love. For a word designed to unite, it can also be pretty divisive. You see, there's more to patriotism than flag sequin onesies and rodeos and quadruple cheeseburgers. Patriotism is love for a country, not just pride in it. But what really makes up this country of ours? What is it we love? It's more than just a huge rock full of animals like cougars and eagles, right? It's the people. Do me a favor. Close your eyes for a second. I want to try something out. Picture the average U.S. citizen. Think about it. How old are they? What's their hair like? How much can they bench? You got one? Okay. So chances are, the person you're picturing right now looks a little different to the real average American. There are 319 million U.S. citizens. 51% are female. So first off, the average American is a woman. Cool, huh? Is that what you pictured? 54 million are Latino, 40 million senior citizens, 27 million are disabled, 18 million are Asian. That's more people in the U.S. than play football and baseball combined. 9 million are lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, more than the entire amount of people that live in the state of Virginia. Around 10 million are redhead, 5.1 million play ultimate frisbee, and 3.5 million are Muslim. Triple the number of people currently serving in the United States military. Almost half the country belongs to minority groups. People who are lesbian, African American, and bi, and transgender, and Native American, and proud of it. We know that labels don't devalue us, they help define us, keeping us dialed into our cultures and our beliefs and who we are as Americans. After all, what's more American than freedom to celebrate the things that make us, us? I mean, it's stitched into the stars and stripes of this country, from the Constitution to Gettysburg, to our motto, E pluribus unum, from many, one. It's even in our country's name, the United States. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, disability, sexuality, race, religion, and any other labels. Because the second any of us judge people based on those labels, we're not really being patriotic, are we? So let's try this one more time. Close your eyes. Picture the average Joe or Joan or Juan or Jean-Luc. The real people who make America, America. And this year, whenever you feel the urge to don those star-spangled shorts, set off fireworks the size of my biceps to show love for our country, remember that to love America is to love all Americans. Because love has no labels.
Are you a visual storyteller? The Cal Times and CUTV is looking for students with an interest in expanding their skills in photography and videography. We call it visual journalism, and we're here to offer you opportunities to learn how to shoot and edit from a wide range of events at California University of Pennsylvania. Our focus is on local coverage of sports and news events from campus and around the region. We provide on-site training as we help you develop your skills as a visual, multimedia storyteller for the Cal Times newspaper and CUTV News Center. To learn more about visual journalism opportunities and join our team, visit our media production facility in the Natali Student Center or email the Cal Times at caltimes@calu.edu.
The Student Association Incorporated, or SAI, has been serving California University's student body since 1937. SAI is owned and operated by the students, which means every student has a voice in the corporation. Over 100 clubs and organizations are funded through student activities fees. These clubs and organizations cover a wide variety of interests from academic, arts, media communications, faith, politics, service, sports, recreation, and much more. If you don't find a club you like, you can start your own by finding 20 like-minded students. The opportunities are endless. The Student Association is directed by a board of directors made up of undergraduate and graduate students, alumni, and retired faculty. In addition to clubs and activities, the Student Association owns 2 areas for recreation that total close to 200 acres, Roadman Park and the SAI Farm. Roadman Park hosts club sports such as men's and women's rugby and the club baseball team. A variety of intramural sports are hosted at Roadman Park as well. The Vulcan tennis team plays its home matches at its facility, and a baseball field serves as home to the club baseball team and a practice field for the varsity team. The SAI Farm offers many different recreation and meeting opportunities. The renovated farmhouse, which dates back to the 1790s, has space for meetings and banquets. A picnic pavilion seats up to 128 people and is equipped with restrooms, playground, horseshoe pits, and volleyball court. Throughout the property is the disc golf course, which was the first course built in Washington County. There is a fitness course around a portion of the cross-country track and nature and hiking trails across the property. If that's not enough, the Student Association owns Vulcan Village housing near Roadman Park, approximately 1 mile from campus. These fully furnished apartments offer private bedrooms with the option of private bathrooms too. These options include 2-bed, 2-bath, 4-bed, 4-bath, and 4-bed, 2-bath. Housing at Vulcan Village includes all utilities, cable and internet, along with an outdoor saltwater pool, basketball court, and sand volleyball court. Room service dining is also available to the residents. Vulcan Village houses 770 people spread out among 199 apartments, so finding something to do or someone to spend time with is a breeze. The Student Association Incorporated aims to make student life better for all students. Get involved in the various clubs and activities, and make sure to utilize your activities transcript. The activities transcript is a resource to keep track of what you're involved in. This is great to have when applying for jobs and internships to show how involved you are. And this is another awesome tool provided by SAI. Remember, SAI is your student association.
Welcome back to football action here from Shippensburg, Pennsylvania, between the Vulcans of California and the Red Raiders of Shippensburg. I'm Colin Kirkwood. Alongside of me are my two esteemed panelists and pals, Daniel Beck and Devin Herrera. And Danny, Devin, I'll leave it out to both of you guys. Break down these halftime stats. How about Cal's from Danny?
In California, their passing game, just an onslaught. 14 of 19 for the young quarterback, Noah Mitchell. 256 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. That interception came early on in this contest, and then he kind of bounced back, got into a rhythm, and started hitting his targets down the field. And his targets down the field that he is hitting, Jordan Dandridge with 6 receptions for 69 yards and a touchdown, as well as Chad Livingston, 4 receptions for 74 yards, and then Tyson Hill, that leading receiver, 2 receptions, 92 yards. That comes thanks to a 71-yard touchdown strike. California 333 total yards compared to Shippensburg's 119.
And Devin, inform us on Shippensburg's first half performance.
Shippensburg's passing game has not been in their prime. They're only 70 yards, 13 for 21 in the first half with 3 interceptions, 1 touchdown going for the Vulcans there, and their rushing yards are 15 attempts for 49 yards. Their longest is only an 18-yard run, and that is good for this Vulcan defense here, and you just love to see that if you're a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, that run game really got started, ignited by Raleigh Serb, a late sub-in, a redshirt junior. He came into this game and made an immediate impact.
Here is the second half kickoff as it is received by the returned man. Working his way up to the 20, he'll be down around the Shippensburg 24. And that is Marcus Lomini returning that one.
Yeah, this defense is looking to come out here strong, maybe get another quick turnover here to set up their offense, maybe even try and potentially score if they do force a turnover here, but just get the stop here, not let Shippensburg come out and score like they have usually been doing in the past games with this drought here in the third quarter. They usually let up a couple of points and then don't get to score any, so they do have a little bit of lead room, but let's see on this play.
Here's Musina as he will opt for a handoff here, and it will go up the middle for very few yards there on that one. I do believe that was Serb again taking that one.
A little bit of chippy play yet again. You know, towards the end of that first half of play, we saw a little bit of, you know, talking back and forth, chirping up a little bit, but both of these teams, they want to win. They have that ambitious spirit. In California, just trying to keep level-headed, try to keep that composure when you're up by 34.
Here is the second down and 9 play by Musina. Man behind who will fake the handoff, and it will be a pass. A touch pass here, and that one is complete, but I believe he was out of bounds. Was number 13, Winston Eubanks.
Yeah, great play by the defensive back there, pushing him out of bounds. Even though he did catch the ball, it was out of bounds, and that is just a great sight to see if you are the corner, because sometimes you just lose track of where you are on the field, and a good corner does not, and he did push him out of bounds, and that was just great placement by the corner there.
And Edwards, just knowing where he was out there on the field, turning around at the last second, prevent that pass interference from being called.
Here's the 3rd and 9 play now. Musina has a chance to throw, and he will, and into the arms of a covered man, and I believe this will be a pass interference penalty on California.
And just like that, I said, you know, Brendan Edwards turning his back around to prevent the pass interference on that one. Lamont McFadder just pushing his body directly at the wide receiver. That's going to be pass interference 10 times out of 10. Just have to have that awareness out there. Turn your head around, look back at the football.
Automatic first down as the result of that one. And the chains will move here.
Looks like this penalty bug is still around here for this California team, and it is just not a good thing to have around your team. You just want to get rid of all those penalties. After this, you just want to be disciplined and stay in your game and just play to win right now.
We really haven't seen too many penalties in the first 2 weeks of action from California, so a little bit out of characteristic here today. You've seen it's going to go for the handoff to Serb, and Serb is going to be wrangled in and bounce off a few tacklers and be brought down, making it back to the line of scrimmage. Brings up 3rd down for the Red Raiders.
Good hit in the backfield from Derek Corby. He's a freshman from Upper Darby, PA. Met Serb in the backfield, kind of stunted his progress up the field. And then Serb staying on his feet. We mentioned before, a Christian McCaffrey-esque out there on the field for the Red Raiders, just staying on his feet and picking up more yards.
Here's third down, and it will be a handoff to Serb once again, and Serb has room to run here as he works towards the near sideline. He is upended there. Quite a tackle.
Yeah, just a great form tackle there. Good open field tackle. You love to see that. You practice that every day in practice, and excuse me, and good way to execute that right there.
Great tackle from the freshman Jamal Martin. He's been having a standout game here tonight. Very stellar game. So just emulating that success again.
Here's Musina here, and he's going to throw this one at the far sideline. That will be complete. One missed tackle, two missed tackles, breaking towards the end zone and brought down at the California 18-yard line. So Shippensburg is finding success here on offense in this third quarter.
Yeah, if you're this Cal defense, you do not want them to get a score early on. You at least want to hold them to a field goal here. If not, try and force a turnover somewhere, because the Shippensburg offense could get a run going there.
Josh Gontarek on that one, step back play, allowed the defensive back to step right in, and he moved right past him and picked up another first down, now inside the 20-yard line.
Musina drops back to throw this one. He's looking end zone, and good play there by number 2 for the Vulcans. That was Aaron Brown breaking up that pass attempt.
Yeah, great defense there. You just go straight for the ball. You don't even want to hit the wide receiver at that point. You want to get the ball out of his hands, and he did, and it bounced off the ground, and it's just a great sight to see if you're the cornerback there.
Aaron Brown matching up against Kyle Haynes on that one, attacking the ball at its highest point and batting the ball down to the turf.
Here is the 2nd down and 10 play now. Musina is going to throw once again towards the near sideline. That one is complete and still rumbling around, and finally brought down as that receiver for Shippensburg. Josh Gontarek once again being targeted here.
And Gontarek was going against Jamal Martin Jr. Just tried to put the stiff arm right on his face mask, and Martin just brought him right back down to the turf. I see a 3rd and 6 for the Shippensburg Red Raiders, though. They're knocking on the door of California.
And a couple of penalties giving away free yardage is never a good mix. Here's Musina looking end zone once again. He will opt to go short, and a good tackle there, but I believe that will be a first down for the Red Raiders. It will be a first down as Shippensburg is threatening in the red zone now.
Yeah, if you're Cal, you want to just lock down here, really get a little bit like hard hits in and make them remember who you are right now, because they're coming out new half, new team right now, because they don't even remember this deficit. It's 0-0 for them right now.
11:30 in the third quarter remaining here as Serb is going to take a handoff, and he will be dealt with promptly.
Serb knocked on the wrong door right there, walking into a host of defenders as well as his own teammates. Kind of crashed right in the hole, that A gap right where he was supposed to be hitting. Just down to the turf, but you know, in that situation, you just have to have that awareness out there, and Serb has explained that or exemplified that earlier on in this game.
Serb being a player that Danny Beck knows very well from his time at Central Dauphin High School, as Musina looks towards the end zone, and a quick slant will be a touchdown as the Red Raiders have found their way onto the scoreboard here today. That is Josh Gontarek bringing in that touchdown reception. Everyone's still a little bit shocked from the military cannon over here to our right.
Haven't heard it yet today, so it kind of took me off guard as their first score of the game goes to Josh Gontarek.
Setting up for the extra point is David Shank. Shank's kick is up, and it is good. So Shippensburg finds their way onto the board and begins to chip into this deficit. The score reads 34-7 in favor of your Vulcans. 10:52 remaining in the third quarter. Make sure you stick around here on CUTV.
Action!
Welcome back here to the campus of Shippensburg University for this edition of NCAA Division II football between your California Vulcans and the Red Raiders of Shippensburg. Ball is teed up for David Schenk, and he delivers the kickoff here. Fielded by the Vulcans return team, moving towards the nearest sideline, and starting out at their own 25 is California, as a couple of extracurricular activities go on once again here, but wisely broken up.
Cal's offense needs to come out strong here and put some points up on the board and get those points back that the defense has given up. So we should see a good unit here and a good drive here by this California offense.
This is a big drive indeed, as California is still searching for their first points of the third quarter for this season. Noah Mitchell with Nelson Brown to his left, trips to the far sideline. Here is Mitchell. Mitchell going over the middle, and Chad Livingston reels in a nice catch there and comes down at the 50-yard line.
That athletic roll right at the end of that play. You can see if you watch the pregame, Chad Livingston gets this team excited, hyped up. He's doing some front flips and back flips during pregame. So he's one of those guys. He's just an all-around athlete for California and coming up big in the wide receiving corps.
Here's the first down play. Nelson Brown will take this handoff up the middle. He hurdles over a few tacklers there and finds his way down. Give him a gain of 6 there on that one.
This is just a great developing drive by this California offense. Already went about 20-some yards and are going forward. They just are a positive team right now, and just not much bad you can do with this offense.
Ball on the Shippensburg 47. Here as Noah Mitchell goes for the handoff to Nelson Brown. Nelson Brown working his way towards the far sideline, beating a couple of men and eventually brought down from behind, close to that first down marker.
Brown really needs to change his number to 26, looking exactly like Saquon Barkley out there on the field, evading defenders, and that last drive hurdling over one man. Wind has picked up. You might hear that being picked up over our headset, so we apologize for that.
Noah Mitchell on this 3rd down and 2. 3 wide, and Nelson Brown to his right. He checks with the sideline just to make sure he's got everything right. He is now ready. Mitchell receives this one. It's going to be a handoff to Nelson Brown. Nelson Brown only has one man to beat, and he's going to take off towards the end zone. Will he make it in? He puts the afterburners on. He is in. Touchdown, Vulcans.
Another big run from Nelson Brown on 3rd and 2. Just burst right through the line of scrimmage. Looked like it was a halfback draw, just trying to pick up that first down, but he picked up the first down and more. The defensive backs creeped up a little bit too much on that play, allowed the secondary to be wide open right in the middle of the field, and Brown hit that hole. We're off to the races.
And it is dead silent here in Shippensburg as Brian Brooks sets up for the extra point attempt. His attempt is up, and it is no good. So the score now reads 40 for the California Vulcans and 7 for the Shippensburg Red Raiders. Make sure you stick around for the rest of the action here on CUTV.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Welcome back here to Shippensburg, Pennsylvania for our Vulcan game of the week between your Vulcans and the Shippensburg Red Raiders here. as this kickoff is received after a little bit of commotion here. And nonetheless, it will be taken out to the 25-yard line.
All right, and the Vulcans coming back on the field here. This defensive drive and looking great out here in this nice sun, great weather. The wind keeps coming in. This nice breeze. It's a nice overcast here in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. 40-7 is the score here now, and we'll see what this Shippensburg offense can do and if Cal can stop it.
We have some alumni up here in the bird's nest. I don't even know what this is called. Allison and Anthony both coming up here, checking out everything out in the eastern part of the state.
Musina's going to launch this one down the field, and good defense there by California to get a hand on that one.
Great defense, because that play could have gone for 6 and more just because of the fact that Musina just exploited California's secondary, just delivered a pass right into the breadbasket of Winston Eubanks, but great defense there at the last second to break the pass up.
2nd down and 10 for the Red Raiders. Musina is going to drop back and throw this one as he's going to find a wide open target here right down the middle of the field, and Lamont McFadder reels in that bid for a touchdown.
Yeah, Shea O'Donnell on that catch right down the sideline over to the right side of the field, right at the 30-yard marker. Just finding these passes wide open down the field for Bryson Musina and just exploiting the defense for California. Looks like they got their score underneath their belt now with that third quarter drought that they really haven't been able to get over. But now in defense, they have to lock down.
1st and 10 here. Musina's going to throw once again, and he's going to find his target, who will make his way into the end zone. And that'll be a touchdown. That's number 89, Shea O'Donnell, the big tight end.
Second big reception for Shea O'Donnell allowed them to just traverse right down the field, get into the end zone. California, they need to answer back now just because of the fact that they had a 34-0 lead at halftime. Now kind of stifled a little bit, still scored in the 3rd quarter. Now it's 40-13 pending this PAT.
David Schenk lining up for his 2nd extra point attempt of the day here. 1 for 1 so far. A little bit of movement, and there will be a flag drawn. We will see who will go on. There'll be a false start on the Red Raiders.
This Cal defense just needs to stay poised and not let these 2 touchdowns rattle them. They just need to stay doing what they've been doing this whole game, and that is forcing turnovers and getting your offense the ball.
Now Schenk will try once again here. Backed up a little bit. His attempt is up, and it splits the uprights and is good. So now the score line reads 40 for California and 14 for the Red Raiders. 8:35 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Stick around for more action here on CUTV.
Mrs. and Mrs. Jimmy at the debut. I came from 5 generations of teachers. Losing my job was the bottom falling out of my world.
Welcome back to Vulcan football action here on CUTV between your California Vulcans and the Red Raiders of Shippensburg. I'm Colin Kirkwood, and alongside of me is Danny Beck and Devin Harena, and we are glad to be with you on this Saturday afternoon as the kickoff is up and away here and will be fielded and returned by California up the near sideline here and running into a host of bodies. and will be brought down around the 25.
A little extra pushing and shoving after that one, after a big hit was delivered by the Shippensburg special teams.
And Jalen Bell hasn't been out there yet for California. He's listed as the kick returner, but he's not out there here today. Haven't seen him at all, but maybe because of his cousin Le'Veon Bell not being out on the field, maybe he's not on the field either, teaming up.
A couple of score updates to keep you informed here, as IUP has gone on the road and defeated the Bald Eagles of Lock Haven 59-17. Over in Gannon, Kutztown is currently losing 22-33 with 14:50 remaining in the fourth quarter of action there. In Edinburgh, the Fighting Scots are taking care of the Warriors of East Stroudsburg 42-24 with 2:07 remaining in the fourth quarter of that one. And Slippery Rock Millersville will get underway at 4 p.m. today. Other games in action are Clarion and Lincoln University of Pennsylvania. Which we will bring you up to speed with shortly here, as action is just about to get underway. A little bit of miscommunication there on the offensive side of the ball for California, but nonetheless, we are ready to roll as Noah Mitchell drops back to throw this one across the field, and it is nearly intercepted there and knocked out of the hands of Chad Livingston, who comes up a little gingerly after that one.
Great defense for Shippensburg on that one. That was number 24, Deontay Wilson, redshirt junior, playing tough defense against Livingston, not allowing him to bring that ball in as he subs out for California.
And this California offense cannot get flustered by this crowd. It's getting a little rowdy here, and it's getting a little loud, so it's kind of hard to hear the play calls, maybe do some audibles at the line. It's kind of hard for that, so let's see what they can do here.
Here's the 2nd down and 10 play here as Noah Mitchell fakes the handoff, and he throws to the far sideline. Couple men to beat as that receiver as he comes down near the sticks. Couldn't quite get a number on that one.
I think that was number 20, Cam Tarrant, on the play. A redshirt freshman from Penn Hill, so close proximity to California, PA, and close proximity to those first down sticks, bring up a 3rd and short.
Clarion has the lead over Lincoln University 20-0 with 12:31 remaining in quarter 3. And in Greensburg, Westchester has the lead over Seton Hill 35-0, 7:26 remaining in the second quarter of that one.
And I mentioned that top-heavy PSAC East. You can see that as they're taking on a few PSAC West opponents in the East right now, delivering the hit stick.
Here's Noah Mitchell to Tyson Hill. Tyson Hill lunges forward for that one and reels it in for almost a first down.
Almost a little bit of a communication error there, because it looks like Tyson was going to do a curl route, but then jumped and used his left foot to kind of burst and get that ball and secure it to get the first down.
Right about that one, Devin. They did not seem to be on the same page, but nonetheless, a first down regardless here, as Noah Mitchell gives the handoff to Jalen Bell, I believe, who's checked into the game. Rather, Nick Grissom, rather. It's been a while since we've heard from Nick Grissom here this season. Made a couple of appearances at Ohio Dominican and was fairly silent against Kutztown. 2nd down and 14 for Noah Mitchell and company here. We're going to have some kind of whistle here. There'll be a timeout for California.
Just touching back on Nick Grissom, he only played in one game, only has 2 rushing attempts for 2 yards. So he said he really hasn't stepped foot on the field. Maybe he was basically the #1 guy last season for California. Now with the addition of Nelson Brown, kind of took over the #1 spot. That north and south runner, Nick Grissom, emulated that north and south runner last season, picking up quite a few yards for the Vulcans. But, just switching up in the run game, passing game, they have some options that are coming up pretty big. Tyson Hill called on quite a bit last season against Slippery Rock. That's when he really stepped onto the scene with Tyson Hill, and now looks like he's fit into about the number 3 role. Jordan Dandridge up top and Chad Livingston in the 2nd spot. But, this California team, they have depth, and that's something that we've really been able to say before, because when Gary Brown was here quite a few years ago, it seemed like it was Gary Brown, and then it kind of just dropped right off. It really didn't seem like anyone was standing out. This season, Jordan Dandridge stepping out, and as well as Chad Livingston.
A couple of times we did discuss how lucky we are here at California to have such a great group of receivers. Definitely a change of pace. Here will be the 2nd down and 14 play with 6:53 remaining in quarter number 3. Noah Mitchell looks and rather hands it off, and it will go back to the original mark, and it will be 3rd and 10 now. Nick Grissom once again carrying that football.
And Nick Grissom has that speed factor as well. He's one of those guys that has a powerful run right up the middle of the field, not afraid to put his head down and get those tough yards, but also has that speed, and that's something that California really needs in this contest. Nelson Brown has that speed, but it's normally whenever he gets out into open field, you know, people can surround him, but Nick Grissom just giving Nelson Brown a little bit of time to just calm down and relax a little bit.
Noah Mitchell looking deep here on this one. He's going to find his target for a sizable gain there.
Yeah, just great pocket contention from Noah Mitchell there, staying in there, staying poised, just lobbing it right into the sweet spot and getting it. And the wide receiver for even getting the ball in and tiptoeing in to keep his keep possession.
Well, it seems like some of these defensive schemes are being picked apart here by Mitchell as Nick Grissom gets a nice gain up the middle here. We'll give him 4 on that one.
It's that tough running that I was talking about from Nick Grissom. Not afraid to put his head down. Almost took the helmet off of number 44, Colin Williams, as he has to sub off the field, but just picking up those tough yards and running and grinding it out.
Colin Williams spells his name the same way as I do. Not a very common coincidence, as Colin typically has 2 L's rather than 1. Here is Noah Mitchell, and he will be brought down in the backfield. He will lose some yards on that one.
It seems to me like he saw something that none of us saw up here. He saw the opening, and I really personally did not see an opening there. I thought he was just going to throw the ball away and do something smart with it, but I think he did have another play in mind, and he tried to go for it, and it just didn't work out.
3rd down and 8 here for California. On their own, or on Shippensburg's 44 rather. Jalen Bell, 4 wide, rather Noah Mitchell. Noah Mitchell spins and throws this one, an odd throw there. Making a little bit of a 360 move, then opting to just chuck up a prayer, Danny.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he saw there as he was, you know, going around the tilt-a-whirl, but just threw the ball up in the air. Never want to see your quarterback do that, because you go for his 2nd interception of this game, now forced to punt. But if Brian Alsterbrooks gets a hold of this one, they can pin Shippensburg back in their own territory.
But you do have to remember, it is only his first game at the collegiate level, and maybe he might not be able to understand that you can't just throw the ball away like that. There are corners that will go and pick that ball off.
First season as a collegiate player. But
we have a flag on this punt attempt here. And he'll take a California bounce and go out of bounds at the Shippensburg 5. But we'll see what this flag is all about. Offsides on the Red Raiders here. And everybody will go ahead and get adjusted here now.
Colin, what are you telling your defense or your offense right now if you're Shippensburg? What do you have to do to exploit this defense of Cal?
Right now, you really want to think about in terms of just finding a way to get some more points on the board. You found success here in this 3rd quarter. You know what you need to do. You need to get at least 1 or 2 more here in this quarter, I would think, to be successful. So really perhaps attack towards the middle of the field. You've seen California have success with it. See if you can do it now too, as Musina goes for a handoff towards the near side, spinning around and finally brought down. That is number 10, Sean Judge, for the Red Raiders.
And I feel like this California defense doesn't have to do that much other than maybe lose the penalty bug and cover up the tight end there on a couple of big plays on the last drive, and they could potentially be a great asset to the rest of the season.
Here's Musino once again with a handoff here to Judge. And Judge just moving up the field, progressing quite well here, and he'll have a first down on that carry. Quick clarification on that special teams event there. California was the one charged with the penalty rather than Shippensburg. Just wanted to clear that one up. Lots of red on the field here today. Can be a little confusing. First and 10 for the Raiders on their own 11-yard line. Here's Musina. He's going to throw this one towards the near sideline and finding a lot of room. That'll be another first down. Once again for the Raiders here, Josh Gunterick.
Yeah, Gunterick on that one. Had some space on the left side, working man on defense over to London Cloud, and then over in the secondary, Lamont McFadder came over and finished it off, pushing him out of bounds before he made some more damage out there on the field.
Here is Musino once again. Offense has really gotten into rhythm here for these Red Raiders as he's going to dodge the pressure here, but he will get wrapped up by the shoestrings and brought down by this California defense.
Tough play there from Gerald Brown. Was almost chipped right by the running back, staying on his feet. Kind of looked like he kept himself up almost in that push-up position, bounced back onto his feet, and then tackled Musina in the backfield.
That's why in practice those bear crawls for the linemen are so deadly and so convenient for in-game plays. If you get chipped like that, you can bear crawl right to the quarterback.
Here is this throw, and it will be dropped as there's a little bit of an extra shove there. You might want to be careful about that one.
Especially because California has already been penalized a few times here today. You definitely do not want to see that happen.
Has happened a couple of times here as we've seen tempers flare throughout this game. As Danny gives me a smile. Nonetheless, we'll get a third down here. He knows we're on the same wavelength here. Don't want to see any extra penalties come from that. Third down and 17 is the spot. Musina drops back to throw. And that will just be on the toes there. A little bit of an awkward grip perhaps on that one.
Yeah, you got to watch out on that one for the defensive backs there, because that could have been easily defenseless receiver or maybe a potential flag, because that was the non-catchable ball, and there's no reason to get a hit in on the wide receiver like that.
Well, Lamont McFadder was right there on the play. I think he was playing the football, especially on the receiver touched the football as well. He almost could have caught that, hit his leg. But, yeah, you're right, though. It's in a situation like this where there's already some chippy play. You never want to see that.
Punt is away now from Schenk. It will be fielded, making a couple of men miss, and ultimately tiptoeing out in Shippensburg territory is D'Angelo Mitchell. Switching over now. Onto offense is California. Taking a look at some of their current statistics here. California sitting with 307 passing yards and breaking into triple digits for rush yards with 131. Here comes this first down play. Ball is being spotted at the Shippensburg 48 now. Noah Mitchell is going to go for a handoff to Nelson Brown, who is back in the game here, and I believe he just fumbled the football. He has fumbled the football here. We'll see who comes up with it. Shippensburg believes they have it. But the ball will stay with the Vulcans here. Scary situation there.
And a key thing for this California offense, Chad Livingston going to the locker room here for the offense, and that's something you don't want to see, because that is a fiery up player, and he really wants to get all the players involved, gets them all hyped up. Like Danny, you were saying earlier, doing backflips, very athletic. You do not want to see that for this California offense.
Here's Noah Mitchell rolling towards the far side of the field here. He's going to throw this one, and going for a tiptoe pass, but nonetheless, that one will fall incomplete there. Close to a sideline grab, Santonio Holmes-esque for Jordan Dandridge.
And if anybody could bring that ball in, it was number 14, Jordan Dandridge, but could not come up with it. Led a little bit too far out of bounds. Heads up play there from Noah Mitchell. Another one rolling out to the left and going left. So if you're the defense, you got to pick up on that.
3rd and 6 now for California with a minute 36 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Noah Mitchell surveying with trips to the far side. Nelson Brown to his left. Here is Mitchell now looking to throw this one as he will connect, but it will ultimately be short. But a flag is down on the field around the Red Raider 20.
Looks like it might be a defensive holding here on Shippensburg. I could be wrong.
I think you might be right, Devin. I'm not totally sure, though, however. We'll see what comes of this.
A bit of confusion down there as the officials are discussing this one. It looks like they're pointing California moving forward, so see what the call is.
It'll be exactly as Devin said, the defensive holding here. Number 18 to be specific for the Red Raiders, and that is quite a last name there.
It's like Eric Dizowensky.
Dizowensky, and that's what we'll go with.
It's Eric Dizowensky. Dizowensky, yeah, that works.
Sure, we're
gonna have a lot of time trying to pronounce his last name here, but
quite a name there. Nonetheless, here's Noah Mitchell now with a fresh set of downs. He's going to give this one off to Nelson Brown, who rolls forward once again like a bowling ball through a couple of pins. We're now under a minute remaining in the 3rd quarter now. Give him 4 yards on that play, 2nd and 6.
Yeah, very aggressive defense for Shippensburg, trying to strip the ball away from Nelson Brown. Already happened one time this quarter, or excuse me, earlier this drive. So you got to keep your hands on that football and protect it at all costs.
Noah Mitchell goes with the handoff once again to Nelson Brown, and Nelson Brown will be wrapped up. The ball pops out, but it doesn't quite matter, as I believe he was down before that ball came out. Confusion here once again, being sorted out by these referees.
For this play, it looks like it's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct on number 56, Mike Post. Actually changed that, maybe it's number 66, Sean Jennings.
It'll be a late hit on defense here. That is number 58 in Stephen Kane.
And on that one, I thought it was going to be Mike Post just because I guess he was retaliating on a late hit. Pushed away a Shippensburg Raider, but a late hit there, and now 3 yards being given to California late in this 3rd quarter of play.
They have found the end zone for the first time this season in the 3rd quarter. Can they perhaps do it again with 22.8 seconds remaining? Ball is on the Red Raider 17 now, with a fresh set of downs. Looks like they will opt to let this clock run out and transition into the 4th quarter here. 2-1, and that will be it for the 3rd quarter of action here. Make sure you stay tuned as we will have an exciting 4th quarter of action for you. California leads 40-14 here. Make sure you stick around on CUTV.
Mrs. and Mrs. Jimmy and Minnie. I came from 5 generations of teachers. Losing my job was the bottom falling out of my world.
between your California Vulcans and the Shippensburg Red Raiders here. We hope you've enjoyed this game so far, and we are excited to bring you this final quarter of action here. Colin Kirkwood alongside Devin Harena and Danny Beck here. It's been quite a game for California as they seem to have found their swagger back on defense, getting 3 turnovers in their favor.
They have, and look for that to be much of the same here in the fourth quarter. California's defense playing tough. Allowed 2 touchdowns in that third quarter, however.
Noah Mitchell looking to throw here. He's going to dump this one off, and ultimately a little bit of miscommunication as it falls incomplete, but there is a flag on the play. Quite an atmosphere here as the Shippensburg marching band has spread themselves across the home grandstand, are putting on quite a show. Ruling seems to be doled out here as it will go on California, and they will retreat here. Jalen Bell has entered the game now. As we touched on him in the pregame open here, we were a little bit perplexed as we have not seen him that much this season so far, but nonetheless here he is, and he looks ready to contribute here. Noah Mitchell looking towards the near sideline, and it's going to be wrangled in by Dylan Stallings.
Great throw by Mitchell there, just noticing he's going to be open at that time, delivering it before he even turns around and gets his hands up. And that's just a great overall throw by Noah Mitchell and recognizing that he will be open at that time.
Rather than Dylan Stallings, we will have Jack Vaborny, the second tight end on the roster here, being credited with that reception. A couple 8s looking somewhat similar. 10 yards to be specific on that. Here's Noah Mitchell now on second down. And that one will end in a stalemate here as both piles come together and ultimately fall on the ground.
And Nelson Brown had his helmet almost ripped off on that play at the end of the play. So he's going to have to sub out. Jalen Bell coming back on. So he's in that number 2 spot. We saw a very quick glance of Nick Grissom. So he's subbed out. Now it looks like they're bringing out their wide receiver set as Stallings comes off. Still have Vaborny on that left side. A little bit heavy on the left side of the football, but this set, we normally see a pass in the corner over to Dandridge, but don't be surprised if you see a pass over the middle to Tyson Hill.
3rd and 7 now. Noah Mitchell gets the snap. Dumps it off short, and that once again is Jack Vaborny, but he will be down after popping up there from some contact.
Yeah, California just needs to convert on this field goal here, get some points up on the board. You do not want to come all the way down the field and go empty-handed. So then they would be up 43-14. Gives them a little lead room for this a lot of lead room for this fourth quarter, and potentially put them away.
Brian also Brooks will now line up for a field goal attempt here. We'll see how this one turns out. He's only missed once today as this one is up, nearly blocked. And that one will be up and good here for Brian also Brooks, so he finds his way in the kicking game here. So the score reads 43 in favor of California and 14 for the Red Raiders of Shippensburg. Stick around for the final 12:48 here on CUTV.
High school football is back on CUTV. Brownsville versus Bentworth. Upper Dauphin versus Millersburg. Charleroi versus Fraser. California versus Washington. Bell Vernon versus Greensburg-Salem. Elizabeth Ford versus North Catholic. Carmichaels versus Union. Ringgold versus West Mifflin. Beth Center versus Fraser. Catch all the action on your home for high school football. CUTV, California University Television.
Welcome back here to Shippensburg University on a calm, cool, and breezy Saturday afternoon as Brian also Brooks gets this kick off and away. Fielded by Shippensburg, and a good return here as this will be put down at their 27. And another flag is on the field here, perhaps maybe some extra jawing between these two teams. Rather, it was picked up and placed back down.
Yeah, it looked like it's going to be on California. This official was pointing at a Vulcan player.
So it will be a face mask penalty on California here, given to number 50, Logan Burnsworth.
Freshman from TJ out there in the South Hills of Pittsburgh, but I want to see that happen, and especially in a situation where you're running down the field at a high speed, especially when you get a face mask pulled in. Pretty dangerous for the player who gets that against them.
Here is Musina now. Fresh drive for him as he will look to throw this one. He will go over the top, and it will ultimately be dropped there by his tight end, number 89, Shea O'Donnell.
Good defense from Brendan Blair on that one. Got his hand right in, broke the pass up, bring up a second down.
Second down and 10. Ball on the Shippensburg 43. 42 rather. Mike Musina now, calling him by his dad's name, Was I There? As that is a nice run there for the Red Raiders.
Definitely has an arm like his dad. And today we saw that on full display for the young quarterback with 218 yards, 19 of 32 with 2 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions in his name.
I was actually lucky enough to see his dad pitch in person at Yankee Stadium quite a few years ago against the Oakland Athletics, as we'll have a free play here. We'll see which way this penalty goes. And of course, it was at old Yankee Stadium before the new one was even completed. It will be an offsides on defense. So Shippensburg will get more free yards here from California.
Looks like that penalty bug is still biting California a little bit and forcing some yards, and you do not want to see this going into the next game. Early game, there was barely any penalties, but late game, you do not want this to stick over into your next game.
Next game will be a big one as PSAC West play will finally begin. Here's Musina now looking towards the middle of the field. Fingertip ball here, and it will be an interception here. Lamont McFadder comes up with the tip drill interception. Couple men to beat as he is flying down the field like a wild child.
First interception for Lamont McFadder, the 4th here tonight, or today rather. So Lamont McFadder was an interception machine last season. He's continuing to fire on all cylinders. First game back for California, and he's making his presence known.
That was a great play by the other defensive back, tipping it up in the air so McFadder can get the ball. That's just amazing play by the defense there, and way to make up for that penalty that they just gave up.
Nonetheless, California ready on offense here once again, looking to perhaps increase their lead. But Devin, could we say anything more about this California defense here today?
Honestly, I think they did the most that they could. They could do just keep this going into the next game. As you see, a incomplete pass, I believe, is or did he get his feet? He did get his feet in, so that will be a 2nd and 4 now at the Shippensburg 33.
Spot at 2nd and 2 here with 11:25 and rolling here in this 4th quarter. But Danny, it's nice to see this defense finally getting its swagger back, as they were known for making their presence felt in terms of turnovers and whatnot. Interesting to see. We really haven't seen the special teams unit get involved too much with any blocks or whatnot.
Man defense on the outside against Tyson Hill. Now that they back up a little bit of zone coverage, they're favoring the right side, have trips, so look for a little explosion here.
It'll be a drop here. Tyson Hill, quick turnaround there, looking for the reception, but ultimately dropped.
In those situations, you have to take advantage. Noah Mitchell going at this defense. They had man coverage over on the left side against Tyson Hill, man coverage on all 3 trips over to the right side. So you go up against a 50-50 ball in the area of Jordan Dandridge, especially over to Tyson Hill. He's that speedy wide receiver, already with a 71-yard reception for a touchdown today. So has to take advantage on that one. Just a drop from Tyson Hill. A few times did that against Kutztown en route to the loss.
We'll have a flag here before this 3rd down and 2 is able to commence. I have a feeling this will go on California. So California will take a timeout before the penalty flag was thrown, as we had to battle off a large Wasp visitor.
We're normally used to a few insects. At the high school football games, there have been quite a few spiders that we've had to deal with, especially in our house, Colin. There's a few spiders in there, so we're no rookies to the whole
we're
insect
no rookies
game.
To the insects, definitely, without a doubt. There are quite a few spiders we've found in our house, but nonetheless, hopefully you're watching this game on CUTV Sports 1. If not quite sure where you would be watching it nonetheless. But we thank you for watching on the live stream or the simulcast on 91.9 WCAL. But make sure you subscribe if you are on our YouTube page. Follow us on Twitter at CUTV_PA. Follow us on Instagram now, CUTV_PA. Brand new project between Dylan and I this week. We've had some pretty great content, I'd like to think, so far. Dylan and Gary getting pretty creative yesterday with high school football in 60 seconds. If you haven't seen that yet, do make your way over to our pages and check that out. As a spin move there for Nick Grissom as he gains the 1st down for California.
Definitely creative kind of avenue that you guys are taking with the whole Instagram. A creative play right there from Nick Grissom to create some space. Little spin move again, slapping that B button, getting up another 1st down for the Vulcans.
Seems the B button is almost broken at this time because they've used it so much in this game. It's just ridiculous how versatile these running backs are and the wide receivers are, and can be able to fake out a defender with a simple spin.
10:30 remaining in this contest here, as Noah Mitchell has 2 men to either side. Nick Grissom will receive the handoff here, and he will fight forward for a nice gain.
Nice gain indeed. Following his blockers up the field, there's almost a little route for him. Yellow brick road. All he had to do was follow it, and he did that right there, picking up a bulk of yards, a gain of 6 on the play.
2nd and 4 as a result of that run here. California in no hurry with the lead, perhaps trying to take some time off this clock here.
Yeah, if I'm California, I just want to keep pushing the run down their throat and just keep enforcing the offensive line to stay woke, because they don't want to get injured in the backfield here.
Here is the play now to Nick Grissom as he will come down just a yard short of that 1st down marker here. 3rd and 1 will be the spot.
Something unique about Devin announcing, just throwing in these little euphemisms. Something to just keep this broadcast nice and young. This is still a college broadcast, so just throwing a little sprinkle of stay woke in there.
I love it. I mean, for the while there, I was really the only person doing like zany references, and now we've got somebody getting pop culture involved. It's a great mix that we've got this year. Here's a handoff once again. Nick Grissom working towards the near side. He beats a couple of men, and he will get another 1st down here for California, grinding away those crucial yards here and keeping the clock moving.
On that one, Nick Grissom, normally you see a running back whenever they're holding the football close, over to the outside arm. On that one, he was holding on to the inside. Definitely want to keep control of this football, especially when you're driving down the field. Not allow Shippensburg to get back into this contest. Be very protective of that football, hugging it close to his chest.
It's nice to have a few running backs to choose from here, a little bit of a split squad, if you will, to choose from. Speaking of split squads, I'd like to give our best to the volleyball crew who is back in California. Good job on their part here as Nick Grissom runs up the middle once again. Broadcasted today from the Convocation Center. Stephen Ruffing, director, announcer, mishmash, fusion,
producer.
Just throw him in a cameraman too. He can do it all.
Steve's our official volleyball guy for this year. So, Steve, we wish you could be here, and we can't wait to see you when we get home, buddy. Second down and 8 for California now. 7:50 rolling in this fourth quarter of action. Here is Noah Mitchell giving the handoff to Nelson Brown as he charges forward, and he'll be down right near that 5-yard line.
He's taking a lot of time off this clock, if anything, on this drive. A few runs, short yardage situations, as now it looks like Jalen Bell trots out onto the field yet again. Nelson Brown subbing out, so they're giving him a lot of time to just relax and rest because he's had a load to carry here tonight with 131 yards, 3 touchdowns. His longest was a 43-yard rush. So Nelson Brown has the team on his shoulders as well as Noah Mitchell out there on the field.
California threatening to put more points on the board here. With 7 minutes even, as Noah Mitchell will keep this one and run right up the middle. He will find his way into the end zone on the quarterback keep. Touchdown, Vulcans.
And I personally love to see that by a quarterback, being able to do work on all cylinders, passing, rushing, and just getting into the end zone by any means.
Definitely an explosion of offense here today. Working well on the defensive side of the ball as well. Brian also Brooks looking to add the extra point now. He's only missed twice rather. Here is his extra point, and that one is up and good. The scoreline now reads 50 for your California Vulcans and 14 for the Red Raiders of Shippensburg. Stick around for the remaining 7 minutes left in this contest here on CUTV.
I came from 5 generations of teachers. Losing my job was the bottom falling out of my world.
Welcome back to Shippensburg University here for our matchup between your California Vulcans and the Red Raiders of Shippensburg. Colin Kirkwood alongside Danny Beck and Devin Jarina. Very excited to field this one. Is Shippensburg, but nonetheless they pull it in after it's wrangled around and will be brought down very short here, about the 16 or 17-yard line.
They're very short. They're backed up quite a bit in their own field position. But, now for Shippensburg, you want to come out strong in this one. Down by 36 points, but not down and out just yet. They could piece something together in the last 7 minutes of this contest, but we're going to see what they can do right here on their first drive.
If you're Cal's defense, Colin, what are you going to do to stop this, to stop this Shippensburg offense from scoring here and not getting any hope or even slacking off?
Here is Musina on first down, and he's going to roll out with this one. Good keeper here as he's brought down by that second tier of California defense. Ultimately, what I would do is, he seemed to be flustered by pressure here, Devin, so I would really maybe stack the box perhaps, get a couple of defenders in there after Musina and see if you can force another interception on the day.
Just a little shout out to Matt Kiefer listening on the ride home from volleyball today. So we're mentioning our crew that was working for CUTV, but also a hard-working crew from the Sports Information Department, and Matt Kiefer leading that charge.
Staff always does a great job and keeps us up to date and informed. Musina rolls out to the near sideline here. Good screen pass and will be brought down for a lot as we've got some shoving once again here. It'll be number 5 for California getting involved in that skirmish. Brendan Blair.
Yeah, you don't want to see this. You want to stay disciplined late game. You do not want to be that team that just roughs up at the end of the game, gets a lot of penalties called, because that can roll over into the next game and potentially put you down and out in the next game right away.
Good point indeed here, as the Red Raiders have a fresh set of downs now. 5:50 remaining in this contest. You've sends a man in motion, and he will throw to that man, as these quick screen throws have been very successful here for Shippensburg on the day, even though it might not say it on the scoreboard. And there's a flag down on the field here. Crew sorting it out.
Yeah, this defense needs to stay professional and stay composed. They do not let Shippensburg get in your head, because that's all they want to do right now is get in your head and throw you off for your next game.
That's right, you want everybody to remain eligible and able to play next week. Flag has been picked up. There will be no foul on the play here. So a first down for Shippensburg.
Just watching that jawing down there on the field between Brendan Blair and Josh Gontarek. Just talking back and forth. That's something that both teams do, especially in a late game situation when you're up big. But you said it right, Devin. You never want to see your team come in and cause a ruckus.
You've seen it with a jump throw here, and we've got another interception on the day. Moving towards the near sideline. One man to beat. It's Musina putting his head down and brought down. That is big. That is a big play for California here, continuing to put that defensive pressure down, and they are all about it here.
That was a Sheed Page Jones on the play, interception. The only man to beat actually was Chase Yoakum. So Yoakum came in quite a few times earlier on in this game in quarterback, but now California has another opportunity to score, get another touchdown, 5:15 left. And back in the football, you know, California, it'll be interesting to see if Noah Mitchell comes out on the field. No, Brian also Brooks comes back out onto the field. So that's something that I could almost look into a crystal ball and see. They're going to bring out Noah Mitchell now. They're up by 36, so you're going to expect to see that.
Kicker now quarterback here for California, as this reminds us of the California of old here, being very tough on defense as the handoff is smothered here by the Red Raiders.
Just going back to that interception there, it's just crazy to think that this Cal defensive squad has had no turnovers this season and then comes out with about 4 interceptions, and I think there was a fumble, but I don't think we've recovered it. But just amazing how many forced turnovers we have had today in this game.
Very intimidating on the defensive side of the ball has California been today. Also, awareness played a lot in there, as 2 of those interceptions were tip drills, and they went the right way in favor of California here. Also, Brooks with the handoff to Jalen Bell. Jalen Bell towards the far sideline, and he will spin right on into the end zone. Mark it down. Another touchdown for the Vulcans.
Now pouring it on. Jalen Bell getting into the end zone for the first time this season. And, you know, just evading defenders, evading that defender on the right side of the field, that far side by the pylon, and spinning his way. You said it perfectly, Colin, getting into the end zone for his first score here today.
Brian also Brooks will stay on the field now as he converts back to kicker here. Awaiting the snap on this one. Here is also Brooks' kick. That one is up and good. The scoreline now reads 57 for your Vulcans and 14 for the Red Raiders of Shippensburg. 4:25 remains in this contest. We'll be here, and we hope you will too. Stick around here on CUTV.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Welcome back to the action here on CUTV between the Vulcans and the Red Raiders of Shippensburg. Colin Kirkwood, Devin Jarina, and Danny Beck here. We've got quite a commotion on this kickoff here. I think California actually might have recovered that. They have not. Shippensburg does have the football there, but the defenders and special teams unit thought they had that football.
Yeah, just a great tackle there, forcing the ball out, and if you're Shippensburg, you just want to go out with something good, and that is not what you want to see. That fumble, you do not want to see that, and that can rattle you. But Cal, you love to see it.
Love to see this indeed, as the swagger's back in California, Pennsylvania here by way of Shippensburg. 4:24 is what our clock reads, as Musina receives this ball and will give a handoff up the middle. That is Judge. Judge moving towards the near sideline, and he will be brought down by a double team of Vulcans. Chase Yoakum is now in for quarterback for California. Second down for the Red Raiders here. Here is the snap. It's a little bit high, and that California defense bursting through the line of scrimmage there to bring down that running back in the backfield. That is Raleigh Serb once again. Central Dauphin's finest.
Yeah, this defense is just looking really composed, and after a couple penalties, it looks like they're being disciplined and professional now, so it looks like they will end the game out very, very good.
.315 left in this contest here now. Chase Yoakum under center now, as Serb is going to burst towards the far sideline and be brought down close to the marker, but ultimately will bring up fourth down and about 2. I would venture to say that Shippensburg will punt this football away, but I could be wrong.
Jalen Bell now in to receive this punt. Subbing out is D'Angelo Mitchell for that position, so pretty much putting in the second team on special teams as well.
Snap is away, punt is up, and back to receive is California here. This will be return, as there is not much room to work with. Return man's got blockers out front. He is pushing towards the outside. It's Jalen Bell. Jalen Bell nearly broke away with that one, but was tripped up at the feet. Nearly got away with that one, Danny. There's a flag, however, on the field.
Before that flag comes out, we're just going to look at California's schedule once again, how they got here, the road to this game in Shippensburg. 2 losses at Ohio Dominican, and then again at Kutztown. Next week, Edinburgh, and then following week at IUP, at home, sorry, at IUP. So we're going to see what this game going into this contest with a big victory.
Wind blowing everything around here. It's become rather windy here, but it's a nice breeze, nice almost fall-esque breeze here. Waiting on this type of weather. Here's Also Brooks. Also Brooks with the handoff up the middle to Jalen Bell. Jalen Bell with a gain of about 3. Switching now, as D'Angelo Mitchell will come in as the running back in this California offense. Change being made once again as everyone takes a quick gander over to the sideline. 1:40 remaining. Just about spoken for here in Shippensburg, as Also Brooks takes this one, and Nick Grissom, D'Angelo Mitchell rather. It's been quite a group out there running back today. A lot of personnel switches as we've got a downed Vulcan here on the field.
Yeah, you do not want to see this right now. You want to go into your next game very, very healthy, and this is just not what you want to see. Hopefully it's a minor cramp or something minor that he can come back into this next week's game.
Pretty tough PSAC West schedule coming up as well, with Edinboro being their first game and then following it right up with the Coal Bowl after that. That's at home yet again, so California has some time at home to relax. They don't really have to rush getting ready. I'm sure that this team came out last night to Shippensburg, but you know, with California, these past 3 weeks have been pretty rough on these players, back and forth from Cal to wherever they are. Ohio Dominican was in Columbus, and obviously last week Kutztown and here at Shippensburg, but back in their own home territory, on their own home turf, so they can kind of just get back into the swing of things, practice all week at home and then get ready for Saturday.
Taking a quick look around the PSAC here, Clarion has the lead 37-7 over Lincoln University, 9:55 remaining in the fourth quarter of that one. Seton Hill is down big at home against Westchester, 49-7 with 12:40 remaining in the third quarter there. Slippery Rock and Millersville once again getting underway at 4 p.m. from Millersville. East Stroudsburg has taken a loss to Edinboro, 49-24. And just about at the end in Gannon, as Kutztown will come away with a victory, 48-33.
Huge fourth quarter for Kutztown as well, scoring 26 points, so they finished off strong in that one.
Here's also Brooks now with 1:15 remaining on the clock. We will step back and let some time come off the clock here to be just under a minute shortly. Also, Brooks receives the high snap, giving it off to D'Angelo Mitchell. D'Angelo Mitchell is stacked up and put down. Will now be a fourth down for California.
Great performance from this California team today. Overall, the defense really stepped up. The offense did what it always did. It kind of no unlucky turns of events here. Only one interception that Noah Mitchell threw. But other than that, this California team is looking like a well-composed team and could potentially surprise some teams.
Most definitely could, as California now slow getting out to the field. About a 10-second difference between the play clock and the game clock.
This, of course, was the team tabbed to finish second in the preseason for the PSAC West, as the punt is sent to the Red Raiders, who will field with 5, 4, 3, 2. Clock will stop with 1.4 seconds remaining.
This game for California, they came out strong. They needed to against this Shippensburg team. At halftime, the score was 34-0. Allowed Shippensburg to get on the board twice, but they extended their lead as well, was California, with 23 points put up on the board. This California team all around, great performance. On defense, they stepped up big. You were talking about who would you give the award to if you were to give a trophy to a certain department on this team. The defensive side of the football, they came up big today for California.
Here's the final snap, and it will be a handoff. It will be to Serb, and Serb will be brought down, and it is official. California is in the win column for this 2018 season here, as they defeat the Red Raiders of Shippensburg 57-14.
Yeah, this is just a great overall game. This is what you want to see from the Vulcans every game. Hopefully they can perform like this every game, maybe shock IUP a little bit, not trying to foreshadow anything, but we could see this team upset a couple of people.
It seems like when California stays composed, they get off on a great start, you're going to see these outcomes quite a bit. So for California, they just have to keep this foot down. They just have to keep staying on this right foot and not really let anything get into your head. But great win here today on the road for their final road game for quite a few weeks.
We'll be back in action next week at home against the Fighting Scots of Edinboro. Finally, we return to Adamson Stadium, and we hope to see you there. But for now, for my co-hosts, Danny Beck and Devin Durina, our engineer in the studio at 91.9 WCAL, Angel Funk, For the crew, our director Gary Smith, and everyone who had a hand here today, we'd like to say thank you for watching, and we hope to see you next week. Stay classy, California.